BGST. Big gamers. Small talk.
You had Sony execs, with 7-figure salaries come out talking about 1080p makes you a better goddamn gamer. Phil's a great guy. Phil should be out there talking about 4K will make you a better goddamn Christian.
I have heard that they are going with 4K makes you a better Christian. So
thank you, Christ, for allowing all this awesome stuff to happen.
I wasn't expecting that one, but that was actually pretty fucking funny. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Big Gamer Small Talk. We are here. It is Monday, not our normal Sunday, but we couldn't get everybody in for Sunday, so we had to do that today. And we still couldn't get everybody in because Xbot has like an apron on and he's cooking up shit in the kitchen or something. I don't know, but yeah, he's doing something. I don't know, but you can be sure of that. It's something, cooking related. That's what I heard. So we're here, and we got lots of stuff to talk about, kind of. I guess we can start off by talking about Cliffy B a little bit more. His game completely tanked. Absolutely did terrible. Something like 7K was the peak on Steam. 7K was the peak on PS4. Hold on, I'm going to look at this right now. The all-time peak was 7,579 on PS4. Average daily high was 2,499. Yes, exactly. And he said he's polarizing, so that could have hurt his game. What do you guys think about this? I mean, he's polarizing, although he hasn't really, to me, he hasn't really been polarizing or controversial for some time. He just comes kind of across as like an asshole or whatever. But for the most part, I didn't wish his game to do bad. But the fact that he kind of just like poked fun at the Xbox crowd the whole time, I'm not exactly like feeling for the guy either.
I don't think that was the reason why the game sold bad. I just think that a lot of people that are on the PlayStation side of things really kind of don't understand the lineage that Cliffy B's behind, with Unreal, Gears of War. I think a lot of kids over there just saw that as another shooter, and they're all into their, what does Zaire say, Tinky Winky games?
Tinky Winky games.
Tinky Winky. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Like, and he's not worried about it. But to me, you have a budget title, and then you're at a time when there's not a lot out. So if it's not doing well right now, what are the chances it's going to do well when actually like anticipated games come out? Like, I think it's going to do worse.
Let me ask you guys. Sound clear? You guys hear me clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. What about the game that's just not that good?
It's got an average. It's got an average scores or whatever. So,
and not to put us all in a box here, but when you think of shooters or racers, you think of the Xbox. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cliffy thought of the 60 million on PS4. So,
he
thought if he could get a third of that.
Yeah. What's the same thing with the green disc people? Limiting 20 people. Respawn. I'm sorry. Same thing.
Yeah, it was Respawn. So. I mean, it's a bit of a shame, but like I said, it's a little bit hard to feel bad for the guy since he did all that trash talking and stuff like that. His game realistically comes out at a really bad time. You have Overwatch, which is basically people are just comparing it to Overwatch, and Overwatch is only about $40 right now too. So
yeah,
I don't really see his game picking up or doing extremely well. I get it. He was trying to create some hype by talking a little bit of crap on the Xbox fans or whatever, but will the game ever come to Xbox? I don't know, since it's doing so poorly. Like Hellblade, on the other hand, will likely come to the Xbox. That seems to be doing pretty well. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes or whatever. But the funny thing is the PS4 fans were bragging about having Cliffy B's game as an exclusive, and then nobody bought it.
They love lists. They love making lists, but they don't purchase the games.
They love talking about them, but don't want to support them.
Don't get me wrong. I love making lists too, fellas.
Yeah.
I purchase games that I talk about.
I do too, man. I pretty much buy just about everything. As long as it interests me even a little bit, I'll buy it. But I was listening to like an old BGST from a couple years ago, and we were like calling out some people in the chat for their list, man. You guys remember some of the lists?
Yeah.
It was like they had stuff like Tropico 5 and Godzilla.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And there was some kind of motorcycle racing game that they had.
Dragon Quest Builders.
Yeah, it was like they had yeah, like they love their list. It's absolutely crazy. You know what I mean? But for me personally, like the lists are only as good as the people that are buying it, and I tell that to the Xbox dude as well. You know, it's great that we can sit there and list these games because we did last year. It was like we did have a few, like 4 or 5 games in a row come out at the end of the year, but most people didn't buy except for maybe 1 or 2. You know,
I mean, like again, I'll say this one, and maybe it just speaks to their demographic. And to be honest with you, and Hellblade, and I was just talking to you guys about it off the air. It's a nice looking game, sounds well, and I understand the premise is something new. The woman has mental issues, all that's great. And I'm a huge fan of Heavenly Sword, but the game isn't fun. It's a walking simulator, you know what I mean? And it's crazy that, and I haven't played Lawbreakers at all, but that, you know, Sony fans will praise Hellblade. And I'm not knocking those that like it, but we're just talking about, to me, overall fun factor. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Do you remember what I said last week about Sony moving a little bit slow?
Yeah.
They love their games slow. That's why they didn't pick up Lawbreakers. It's too fast for them.
Yeah, you know what? There could be something to that. Here's the thing, right? I see a lot of people talking up this Hellblade thing. It's not a game that interests me personally, but I see people like, man, it's amazing. It's amazing. And then to me, when you see anything on it, it just looks like you're just kind of exploring around and there's not much going on. So has anybody played it?
Yeah, I have it. I got it. I got it on PC.
Well, what is your thoughts on it, Mega?
I like it. I think it's a cool game just for the premise of the story. The story is very unique about schizophrenia. The sound, the graphics is absolutely top notch. But it is a puzzle-oriented type of game. It's very slow. It's linear, but you can move, you know, one way or the other way. But it's not open world. But it's very slow. It's a cool game. Like I said, I enjoy it. But for people that gave it a 9, I have no idea how they could, or if anybody that's talked bad about Rise, Son of Rome, and they talk great about about Hellblade. I'm trying to figure this out because those are the 2 best looking games in this generation, in my opinion. And Rise, Son of Rome has a hell of a lot more content. It also has a lot more things to offer, a lot more enemies on the screen. It's got a great, compelling story as well, and it has multiplayer involved. So, I mean, I like Hellblade. It's a great game. I give it an 8 because it's short, but but it's not for everyone.
Did you already beat it?
No. I'm on the second boss, and there's one more boss I believe that I got to get to before I get to Hella.
Okay, because I heard some people were beating this game in like 3 hours.
I think it was like, how long was the game? Campaign 6 hours or
6? It's supposed to be 6 hours.
6 hours. So say 8 if you get stuck in a couple of days. Let's shout out to Pedro Weissman. We're dropping $5 in the super chat. Appreciate it.
Because I watched the IGN review of it, and that guy beat it in like 5 or 6 hours or something. So that's why I was just kind of curious.
Is it a $60 game or is it $40?
No, I think it's
30. It's 30. It's a
$30 game. It's a $30 game.
It seems to have done well, but on the flip side, I mean, not to get away fully from Lawbreakers, I want to make some comments because I think the numbers on Lawbreakers were really surprising. Not only were they low, they were disgustingly low, like 142, I think, on Steam. Battle didn't even touch Battleborn's numbers, 5,000 below.
Battleborn was like the biggest flop ever or something. Right?
Yeah.
So to me, it kind of it highlights what happens in this industry. It seems like either people will get a good feel about your game, and we'll say Hellblade, for example, and they'll buy it. And then there are people who will get a bad taste in their mouth about your game, let's say Lawbreakers, and they will shun it. And that's why I think if you're a developer and you really want to play it smart, you keep your mouth shut with this type of market.
Do you think the beta hurt Lawbreakers?
No. I just think that Hellblade hurt Lawbreakers, and the fact
that could have helped. You're right.
Yeah, that was the factor because I mean, again, you are trying to cater a multiplayer game to a group of people that likes to play single player experiences, and the fact that it was the same price. Then you also, just the multiplayer factor. People rather play a single player experience and
On
graphically. that game
PlayStation
looks a hell of a lot better.
specifically,
Yeah,
they
so
would rather
Right.
play a single player
Well,
game. Yeah.
that was a fail on Cliffy B.
Yeah, I think, and I think that Cliffy B kind of cornered himself here now because, to be honest, I think that before the launch there was a chance that it'd come to Xbox, but with these numbers,
No chance.
I don't really see this game coming. I don't really see this game seeing much support after 6 months. I mean, it's just a game. You know, if a game does not sell or it does not make money, the developer is going to turn itself and they're going to go into a new direction. And I think what you take from this whole thing is that one, you just alone by name doesn't work anymore. It does, you know, you have to provide what people want, and you have to. It's your obligation as a developer. You know, this sounds stupid, but it's the truth. To get people to buy your game, you can't just assume people are going to buy your game because you're Cliffy B. It just doesn't work like that anymore. It might have worked in the past, but. And the other thing is that, you know, maybe you shouldn't, you know, I mean, I like Cliffy B, but the way he was with the Xbox community, you know, even if his game comes to the console now, which is unlikely, a lot of people are just not going to buy their game. I've seen numerous people now. People say, well, they're fanboys. So the
Respawn, the fact.
I think if the game had launched on Xbox,
there are people.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, go on. I know what you're going to say, but I agree what you were going to say, but say what you were going to say.
I was just going to say, I think if the game launched on Xbox, it would have sold better, way better than what it had on PlayStation. I think because, like I said, again, Cliffy B's lineage with the Xbox brand is Gears of War. How many gamers love Gears of War? I love Gears of War. I don't like the multiplayer so much because I stink at it, but I think the game itself is fantastic. And I think had it launched on Xbox, it would have sold a lot better, and there'd be a lot more players playing it and talking about it.
Yeah. Right. Another thing for me is that, you know, Cliffy B should have just catered to the PC crowd first and foremost, then test the waters with the consoles and seen where he would have got the most buzz from. The thing of it is that, you know, he's bringing an arena-based type of shooter, which is catering to the PC fan base more so because he's also worked on Quake when he was young. So that's another thing that he should have stayed there. No, go ahead. What?
I was just gonna say, isn't there like a Chinese backer, like a publisher that's giving them a bunch of money too?
Yeah,
they could have forced his hand into the PlayStation decision.
You're absolutely right. That could have had something to do with it, but still, it was. You know what? He got with just the weird shit that also when I bought the game on PC, I even posted on Twitter, and you had to and normally when you buy stuff off of Steam, you get it, boom, that's it. You know, I know that they used to have that crazy shit, Windows Windows ID or whatever the hell that thing was, where you had to put in a code or whatever like that. But that kind of went away unless you buy older games. But this was crazy because I bought the game. Then the demo played fine. The beta played fine. You didn't have to go through anything extra. But for when you bought Lawbreakers, you had to go through this thing called Nexon. You had to sign up to Nexon. Then you had to put in the PC or the PlayStation 4 shit. And there was some Korean company. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I tried to do everything. Went to talk to customer support on Steam and on Nexon. Couldn't get anything resolved. You know what, Cliffy B? I gave you an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to show support for the game. But you know what? I had to get my money back from Steam because, you know what, that was a hassle. It took all day for me to try to get that. Just to get some kind of information was like, we don't know. We'll get back with you. No, that's bullshit. So the fail's on him.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, man. I saw you having trouble with some of that.
Yeah.
Probably would have been better if they would have just taken the time to also put that on the Xbox One as well. Then you'd have maybe 30,000 sales instead of 14.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, Cliff. You might want to rethink your strategy there in the future.
Aside from all that stuff, I do think that it's definitely alarming at how it just goes to show you. It just seems like if these games don't sell, they get obliterated. I mean, there's no in the middle. Like, I would think if you told me the day before launch that it would be at 7,000 at peak, I would laugh at you. Be like, no, that's crazy. You know, I thought maybe you get 20,000, 30,000, and still that's decent. But to get 7 and then to drop the next day to like 2, I could not believe what I was reading
What do you think what do you think the meta score is on Metacritic?
76.
Yeah, it was like in the 70s on PC. And
Have you guys tried it?
I just checked. It's 77 right now.
Yeah. Okay. So it's it
on
was
PlayStation 4.
On PlayStation 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys tried it?
Yeah. Well, I played it.
I played the beta.
Yeah.
How was it, brother?
Generic would be a good way to describe it.
Damn.
Call of Duty and what, or is it?
No, it's nothing like nothing like anything like that. It's they try to make it super fast paced, so it's like kind of like Overwatch / Titanfall. Not really exactly something that would really excite me or anything like that, or the majority of people. So, yeah,
I say it's more like Quake, in my opinion.
Quake
could be, yeah.
On the tournament or something like that.
Yeah. Quake with a little hint, with a little taste of Overwatch with the character set. Because the characters I like the character models, but then of course there wasn't it wasn't balanced out. But again, the only thing I got to really play was the beta, and so there was a couple of characters that was way OP compared to others that I liked better. But you know what? It's very fast paced. It's it's arena shooter, but just like any of those type of games, if it doesn't have a strong a strong fan base that will support it, it's going to be just like how I was when me and B Shadows was playing it. I'm going to play it for a couple hours and then I never went back to the beta. That was it. So,
yeah, I mean it kind of is what it is. Like I don't even feel good giving the guy any kind of talk about his game right now. He kind of made his own bed or whatever. So
it's kind of a bummer to see another game that from a guy like Cliffy B to kind of tank basically.
Oh
yeah,
it tanks.
It's sad.
Yeah,
I feel the same way. I mean, yeah, he was. I could understand why a lot of people fuck the guy too. I'm not going to say that. He told, even though the guy was being, kind of, starter, when we told an Xbox fan to eat a bag of dicks, and stuff like that. That's not going to, regardless, even if the guy was baiting him. Regardless, you're going to get people pissed at you. So, but for me personally, yeah, this guy's this was one of my favorite developers. And to see him just put out a game and just fucking get shit on and actually be irrelevant, because basically that's what the game is. It's irrelevant at this point. Mm-hmm. It's going to be forgotten. And it's not going to come to Xbox because nobody fucking wants it. There's no demand for it.
Oh, yeah. I'll give it another try when it gets down to like $6-7 on on PC. Bloodborne is like $4. Bloodborne is like $4 to $6 right now.
That's true. Well, you can.
That's still about $3 too much for that game.
What you say about 2 steps forward and 2 steps back? What you say about Bloodborne? Used to be teasing.
I don't know, man. Mooch is actually a Bloodborne. He likes those Souls games, though. You know what I mean? So
before he went on the whole Souls trip, he might just make this most funny little thing about.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say Bloodborne. Battleborn. That's what I meant.
Oh, Battleborn. Yeah, I have that game too.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
I have that game on Xbox One. I actually don't mind that game. It's got a single player element. That's more than what Lawbreakers has. So.
Yeah.
So you have an issue with the always online, or not having a single player.
Well, no, it's like look, it's the same thing with Overwatch. People love that game, but it's got no single player aspect. I tend to like the ones that have both. Even if it's just like Call of Duty, I'll always play through a campaign on Call of Duty first before hopping into the multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like I always feel like if it's only one, like at least they priced it right. Like for a multiplayer only game, should only be half the price. I feel like that with single player games for the most part. If you only have a single player portion, it should be half the price. If you only have a multiplayer portion, it should be half the price. When you got both, like Gears or Halo, then you're good. Or Killer Instinct, like that's how it should be. I like what they did with Recore. They priced that at a good price.
I see they're coming out with the Ultimate Edition or something along those lines, or
the Definitive Edition. It's got extra content because everybody's asking for a recorded Definitive Edition. So I mean, that's going to be a hot ticket item, you guys. Come on.
Hell yeah.
Let me again. I don't know if you guys just to segue a little bit, and we can come back to that. Did you see Digital Foundry with Hellblade about a dynamic resolution on the PS4 Pro 900p that drops down to 720p, but you see how he barely mentioned that at the end? That's what I'm talking about. Why I have no faith in Digital Foundry going. Somebody I was talking to somebody. I think it might have been Bruce who was saying that it's going to be up to them to praise. I don't have no faith in the media. I don't.
There's more than just Digital Foundry though. There's other outlets that are going to be able to test those things and go, oh well. This version on Xbox One X is much better. Like even if they don't make a big deal about it, they still have to be honest about it.
Yeah, but I'm just,
like you can see them downplay it for sure.
What I mean by that is this is the same site or whatever the case may be that made a huge deal out of 900p to 1080p. They were snatching down trailers, and this the trailer debated is 720p. But here you have this quote unquote PS4 Pro, this 4K console, this mid-generation that can't run this game at 1080p 60, but a dynamic resolution of 900p that drops it down to 720p.
Oh, they were super pissed. They even admit that they were super hard on Quantum Break even. That guy even admitted that in the Destiny beta thing. He's like, we were extremely hard on Quantum Break, you know what I mean? But now all of a sudden, all that stuff is great.
Chessboard and all that. It's disgusting, man. It really is. Like, I mean, so many good Xbox games got shitted on because of the resolution babies. And then now it's all good. When we're talking about a console that's still $400 plus dollars, and it can't even reach 900p. I mean, everybody talked so bad about the X1 Fat, about it be a 720p, 900p. It's $500. You can't get this. Man.
They fat shame the shit out of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and now it's quiet, crickets.
They said
nothing.
720p in 2016. What is this? That guy Jason, I remember that article.
Blurry 720p.
Yeah. I mean, it's disgusting, man. I mean, if people don't really understand now or get it that there is an agenda by people that just hate Microsoft or from the gaming media, then I guess you just don't want to get it. I guess maybe you just find yourself to just say, hey, look, man, I want to be cattle. I just want to follow the leader of what they say and just run off the cliff with every other motherfucker out there. It's ridiculous.
I have exclusive audio of Digital Foundry talking about PS4 Pro.
Let's hear it. They love their PS4, man. We got to be honest. They like the PS4. It kind of is what it is with that. Like I'm expecting it. I'm expecting it to. Dude, I got this dude on Twitter that just messaged me. Not everybody wants Recore crap. He's unfamiliar with my friend's sarcasm, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, unfamiliar with sarcasm because I was quite. You guys got that all sarcastic, right?
Yeah.
This dude William on Twitter. He's like, not everyone's Recore crap.
Who's sarcastic? I don't know who that is.
My friend Sarcasm, right? Yeah, I get it.
Oh, that guy.
Fuck you, Chris. Yeah, like that guy. My little buddy Sarcasm there when I'm like, everybody wants Recore. That was a fucking joke. Get it?
Yeah.
Sarcastic. Like, damn, man. Like, sometimes. Seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
Listen, and like I said, it is. But if I just think that in itself is just, 720p. Now, we're talking about a $400 console, your 4K console, and the title drops down to 720p. And this is the Xbox One X competition. Or they say, well, if you have a Pro, there's really no reason to get the Xbox X because they're both going to upscale and use checkerboarding. Yeah. Okay. Wait. We're going to have some fun with this.
Of 4K.
We're going to have some fun with this.
Oh, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Hey, did you guys hear about that the Amazon Italy stuff, right?
Yes.
They did a pre-order, sold out pretty quickly. I had heard that it was possibly, and Microsoft never denied this or anything, that it was possibly testing the waters for like some of the overseas market and things like that. Could be. You know what I mean? Like it's perfectly available for pre-order. Like it's passed all the stuff it's supposed to. Blows my mind that it's not pre-ordered yet because if you want to know a good idea of how many of these goddamn things to have ready for launch, maybe you put them up for pre-order, huh? Like,
I'd say a good 10,000, right? That'd be enough.
Yeah, I mean, like according to the pundits and everybody, it probably wouldn't even sell that. So I saw Tim argue with people because Tim thought it would do more than $1 million in November. When the fucking thing did more than $1 million in November last year. It does more than $1 million every November. I think it has a chance of doing more than $2 million, maybe even $3 million here. Like these people are crazy, man. They live in fucking in La La Land,
Yeah, they do. I mean, there's like I've been saying this, and I'm pretty sure everybody on the panel has been saying this. there's a lot of people out there that just don't want to open their mouth and say that they want to get it. They're just waiting. That's all they're doing. There's plenty of people that have probably DM'd private messages say, hey man, this thing intrigues me. But I just want to wait and see. And once they start showing the games on this thing, and you know what I'm saying, at full throttle, and then people start streaming it, man, by the time it gets to Black Friday, it's over. They're gonna start selling like hotcakes, man. So, you know, and as long as Microsoft do what they're supposed to do with advertising everything and showing the power of what this thing can do, hey, it's gonna be balls to the wall, Jack. Balls to the wall.
Hey, I hope so, man. They need to start piling up some of these wins. I mean, like, you do see some of the media come out and they'll go, well, yeah, man, the power of it could really bring it back. But then you see some of the media like, well, you know, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's like they're so hot and cold with this stuff, with the things that they say. You know, like if you I watch Kind of Funny Games sometimes, right? And Craig Miller and those guys always just call it the Xbox One X the same as the PS4 Pro. He's like, it's their PS4 Pro. Bugs me because it's so much more than the PS4 Pro. You know, like so much more. The PS4 Pro just does a little bit more. Right? Why the Xbox One X, man? That thing is a beast, man. That thing's like almost a next gen console, but it's a mid gen refresh. So I think
4 teraflops, bro.
What gets me is that you look at a situation where Pro has no downsampling, little to no downsampling.
Why is that though? And why is that though?
Well, that's the question. Why aren't Sony fans, instead of Sony fans worrying about what Xbox One X is doing, why don't they take it to, like, listen, there's times where I'm critical, there's times where all of us are critical. There's times people say, well, stop it, Tim, or stop it, Zaire, this and that. But like, where are their fans saying, where's our downsampling?
Is that more of a software issue? That was what I'm saying.
I think it is a software issue, but can you at least get an answer? Can you at least ask for it? The thing is that they don't ask for it.
That's being toxic if you ask.
You know
what, Tim? Maybe they don't ask because I don't think a lot of people know. And I said this last week on BGST or one of the shows that we on or something, that Microsoft really needs to pound that message home. Because a lot of people don't know. Everyone still thinks that, hey, I don't have a 4K TV. Not everybody, but so it's really no need for me to get the X, or I can just keep my Pro. And again, it's not the case. You know what I mean? I think they really need to drive home
with that stuff, because people, first of all, either don't know or they don't want to know. I mean, here you have a situation where a system-wide Xbox is pushing out. Not only are they pushing out downsampling, they're pushing out 16 X. Anti-Aliasing on every single game that you play, faster load games on every single way you play. They've done the mid-console generation refresh right. Okay, Sony has not. You have some games, like when they come out with boost mode 4 months later, everyone's like, oh, look at this, it's great. You know what I mean? Boost mode is on everything on Xbox. There's no after the fact. It is built in. It's built in on a system level. FreeSync 2. Built in on a system level. These are things that are forward-thinking company doing that push for the future. Whereas the Pro, you don't even have answers for these. You don't even have people answering questions. So for me, I kind of like scratch my head. You got, everyone's talking about the X and what it can and can't do. But here you have this supposed, its rival, which some people Phil says it's not. Whereas I agree with Phil, because I think it's just too much of a jump, and it doesn't even have half of the things that it should have by default at launch, and not a person talks about it. You know what I mean? Not media talks about it. Nobody brings it to people's attention. It's the same thing with second step authentication. It was 2016, and you remember me saying folders and this, and nobody made it a big deal. Like, it's like you have to, it's this constant, push against Microsoft. Sometimes it makes people forget about things that matter on PlayStation. And I'm a proponent of, if you're a PlayStation guy, and you're listening to BGST because you want to hear about Xbox or you want to hear about bullshit, why don't you take some of your energy and put it to making your life as a gamer better? Ask Sony, where is downsampling? Why don't I have this? Why don't I have that? What do you guys don't do that. And I think that it hurts you. And and I think sometimes, that's why you kind of listen to Xbox guys and look at what they do, is because we're always asking for shit. You see me asking that, and we're like, and it's never good enough. but we're asking for it and we're constant about it. Whereas it seems like you guys just like latch onto us, just like want to know what we want instead of what you should want for your own system of preference. So I just
Go ahead, Crap.
I was just gonna say, like, yeah, you still can't even change your name, and supposedly that was something that was gonna maybe happen on update 5.0, but still not happening.
No. And what year did Microsoft on Xbox One have external hard drive support? 2014.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
PS4 just now got external support this year.
You can only use one on there as well.
Right.
Like 1 terabyte?
No, you can only use one external at a time.
Yeah, but how much
I don't know.
I think up to 8. I don't know. It has a pretty big sizable, but again,
the damn thing will always sync and have to download because it said it's some kind of error. Every time that I boot up my PlayStation 4, it says that something went wrong with the connection.
8 terabyte, by the way.
8 terabyte, yeah, and I got a 4 terabyte on the PS4 external, and it every damn time. Or if it does, it does it every time. After that, then usually there's always one game that I have to re-download because it always shows up as an X. I have no idea what the hell is the problem with that.
It's telling you to play Xbox.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, look, for me on the PS4 Pro, I have that's a 1 terabyte in there, and then I have another external 1 terabyte.
Oh, you got the Pro? I didn't get the Pro crap. I didn't get the Pro.
Dude, I got the Pro since it launched.
Oh wow, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking about upgrading to the Pro, but
listen.
It's the new 720 900p box. Why would I
say this? We even had some classic debates here live on the air about the Pro, and you guys know I've been very, I like I'm a that loves gadgets. You know my sling, you know my slow. But if you had a standard slim PS4, just talking about visually and what you can see, because I bought this console thinking I was gonna get better graphics. And again, I understand it's a very capable console. They now got some secret sauce stuff that they're talking about, right? But that's neither here nor there. But again, Sony, I feel this, they put their stuff in the box with resolution, because again, it doesn't have a high enough memory bandwidth to have the better textures. Listen, I go back to look at the Destiny review. It's placed at a higher resolution, the beta, but it's running the same low settings, and that's what gives you the graphics. You know what I mean? And then Sony said you can have HDR on a PS4 Slim too, so there's no reason to get a Pro. I'm just being real. It's not no hate. This is not no shade. And I think the numbers reflect that. That's why it's like 1 out of 5 people buy the Pro. You know what I mean? Because when the average Joe Smo with the taco stand walks inside Best Buy or GameStop and they see the game running, or they might even have a Pro hooked up, whatever, there's not a difference graphically between the two. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. and the fact, because I have the Slim, and it's
I gave you. Why did you get the Slim? Like, you listen.
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy this PlayStation 4. It was
you were right. There's really, you know what I mean.
So yeah, I'm not gonna trip out for somebody getting me a PS4, for free. Beggars can't be choosers, but I never begged for it, but it was given to me. So I was.
Hey, you mooched it so good, man.
Yeah. So but I wanted to upgrade to the Pro, and I'm like, I might just keep it. But anyway, the HDR aspect of it, it's on there. It's got the option. So I did it. Boom. I'm a 4K ambassador. When I turn on my Xbox One S and I'm playing some games in HDR, I see the difference. On the PS4, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I know that D-Batch has been saying that it's a slight difference, but it's not enough for me to actually say that it's true HDR when you have it on the S and you actually have true HDR.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's a different kind. It's like, and not even all the games support it, right, or whatever. I don't know. It's like
I think the HDR aspect of it, games or whatever that was built from the ground up to support it, fare much better. Like Forza Horizon 3. That's a huge difference. It's not even the Xbox PlayStation thing. I think games that are built from the ground up with HDR in mind fare with the ones that may have been tacked on as a second afterthought, as a marketing thing. Well, we got this one here to support, for Hayes said, what was it called? PS Pro enabled or whatever the case may be. And again, I forgot who I was talking to, tech guys. It goes back to Sony's softwaring and what they're doing as far as, like I said, the super sampling. You know what I mean? And It's great. I forgot to do some damn
It's
shows.
just it's a long line of things that they should have, and that nobody really brings them to task because they're always more concerned with what Xbox does. The little shit Xbox, the fucking energy saving on Xbox takes precedence over fucking two-step authentication. Meanwhile, people are getting freaking hacked all over the place. There's constant problems. People get locked out of their accounts.
Well,
if they're, I mean, there's so many little things that go by because people are so invested in what Xbox does that they forget about their own system. And
they do. Look, Jamie Moran tweeted this, the Digital Foundry article and video about Halo 5 Guardians analysis, the price of 60 FPS, right? They shredded it, right? Oh, poor textures, poor this to get that 60 frames per second, this and that. And they really tore it apart. And then with Sony, like, they just really don't care. It's like Sony is allowed to
shredded Tomb Raider. Remember?
Yeah, they did. And Tomb Raider looked absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to take your magnifying glass and put it times 10 on Xbox, but then you can switch it back to nothing, you can make one. You could be critical and be technical on one, and then be not as critical and cushioning the other one. You can do that, and I don't see anything as flashy or clickbaity as the cost of 60 frames per second. That was pathetic.
Yeah, everything's always so negative when it comes to Xbox, right? Like, it is, and you're right. Like, every single thing is just like the most negative thing in the world, and then PlayStation is just like there's never anything negative, and that's unfortunate. I just would like a little bit of to be fair about some of this stuff, because you got some people that like, okay, I'll give you an example, right? I saw something. There was an article today about a developer who was talking about Xbox One, and he said, "You're damned if you do, damned if you don't" situation post E3 2013. Right? Good article saying Microsoft really did a good job, kind of fixing all the problems and things like that. And then everybody in the comment section was like, "Well, they were so everything TV." That this is his example of anti-consumer, and this is something that has almost 100 likes on there. He's like, they were everything TV. They were going games made to influence on the TV market, Quantum Break and Defiance, although Defiance is not an Xbox exclusive. It was also on PlayStation 3 and PC, and it wasn't even a deal with Microsoft. DRM online all the time, which, again, that wasn't true. It was iffy. It was something like you needed it every day or every other day. You didn't
24-hour check-in.
Yeah, it was a 24-hour check-in, so you didn't need to be on every single day or all the time. Licensed to the games, couldn't trade in or sell games, hence the GameStops were going to boycott Xbox. Do you see this guy has almost 100 agrees and 14 disagrees, right? This is the typical idiot, because that's not true at all.
Nope.
Like, Microsoft was going to allow used games, but it was going to be so that the developer would get a chunk of the used games from the used game market. That was all it was. Like GameStop was going to be one of the ones that you were going to be able to trade these things in. Right. So you have people that really still believe this stuff. Like, it was all 24-hour, like, you had to be connected all the time. You couldn't use used games or trade games at all, which was wrong. In fact, you would have been able to share your games with up to 10 people.
Right.
Digitally even.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
the other thing, the people are connected anyway. I mean, how many people don't have their internet plugged into their PlayStation 4 or to their Xbox One right now? I mean, PC, you definitely have to have your shit connected. So, I mean, where were people thinking that this DRM thing was so bad, especially when you got a lot of the hell from PC fans, and they were in love with Steam. That's the thing that really tripped me out. And there was people that like, you don't know nothing about DRM. I know the DRM is on Steam, and if you are a Steam fan, then of course you would be supporting this, right? And no, this is wrong.
You know what's crazy, Mega?
Yeah.
And it's crazy that we even talking about this now. So, someone brought it up in the comments to you, something crap about Microsoft and DRM. Because I know some man named Porter Rockets did a video on his rant about DRM, and I did a counter video to it. And I said people didn't tell the whole story of the whole DRM thing, and most people that were complaining or about always online or we're complaining about it online. Like, who buys a next generation account, or even a console this day, really, and don't have the internet? Whether you have Xbox Live Gold or whatever the case may be. And Microsoft, again, they taking away the right for me to trade you. No, they didn't. It's just that this is something that the developers asked for. Same thing, Sony. And again, if you look into that interview that Jack Tritton, I think was Eurogamer, and you look, they didn't really highlight. He said we have something in place for the third party to use. We can't stop them. That's what they wanted to do, right? Is that when you walk into GameStop, because this is the only business that I know like this, is that when you go into GameStop, not only is EA competing against Activision or Ubisoft, they're also competing against the store, that's in charge of selling their products. So if you walk in there with $60, that you made this buy to say Assassin's Creed, whatever, use for $55. That money doesn't go back into the gaming industry, which GameStop was to start these figures. We put $1 billion back into the gaming market, whatever the case may be. But what that money they give you back or they trade in, you're not guaranteed to buy a new game. And again, GameStop, they have an initial incentive to push, like I said, used gaming, because I used to have a little mom and pop store. When I used to buy the games, let's say Madden, from the wholesaler, games were $50 back then. I would pay like $46 for them or $44. I would only make $6 to $5 at most per every game that I sold. You understand what I'm saying? So when you walk into GameStop or whoever the case, no longer could GameStop give you back $7 for this, a game that's 2 weeks old and turn around and sell it for $55. They was forced to give back the developers a piece of what's called, and we could have traded our games online, our license, and so much other things. Like, you know what? In this way, I kind of blame Microsoft also, because I gave the analogy: it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it's like my wife say, "Take out the trash. It stinks like shit in here." I'm gonna shut down. We all gonna choke to death. But baby, take the trash out. You know what I mean? It's not what you say, how you say it. And Microsoft needed that right, how you say, key figure in place to explain the benefits of it. They did a horrible job of explaining.
Well, the funny thing is now is like everybody I know almost game shares with somebody, and guess what? You're DRM, bro. Try to
even always online or whatever.
Yeah, even the games, like the hottest games, like those are all online only. We have to get updates. Like here's the thing, and this is something nobody's really thinking about. The Xbox One X is DRM because you need to get the updates. Like those games are going to come, they're going to get recognized in your One X and download the fucking assets and stuff, right? Because the games are so much larger than what these Blu-rays can hold. So basically what's going to happen is you put the game in your console and it recognizes if it's like an S or an X, and then you start to get the update. Nobody's really brought that up because now it's like not really that big a deal like we expected. But there's
why is that though? Why is it not that big of a deal? We're just so
because
used to
nobody's really bringing you know what I mean? Like nobody basically because everything has to get an update anyway day one.
Right, and more people are buying digital. I mean, every year it keeps going up. More people are feeling comfortable in purchasing digital products. I mean, just look outside of video games and how easy it is to get music and just other things digitally. So it's the future. It's on its way.
Mr. 100 says music and movie are DRM too. Yeah, this is 100% right. That's just it.
Well, listen,
when you involve video games with it, it becomes a whole.
Look, listen, let me say something, right? Let's hop in this we call Next Gen's Hot Tub Time Machine. I'm gonna take you guys back to I believe it was the 6th generation, maybe the 5th. How Sony got sued because if you put when you put the CD in the computer, I still do this day. I still buy CDs. When you put the CD in your computer to rip it to have an extra copy or whatever, Sony put this little boot device on your computer and shit. Like Sony, listen. What blew my mind back then is that they came with the slogan that Sony is all for the gamer and Microsoft is not for the gamer. And like they don't remember Sony, like come on. And I'm not saying no company hands is clean. Everybody got dirt in their hands, but the pedestal that they put Sony on, like they're looking out for us and on our best interest. Only Sony did was took was Ray condescending with it because again they were going to do it all. And even if Microsoft still pushed forward with it, they still were going to do it because again I did videos about this back then. I maybe had like 33 subscribers, but I said there's no way in hell that Ubisoft, Activision, or even EA is going to protect their $1 million investment. These games cost a lot of money. You make the $75 million, investment just on the Xbox One, and not do the same thing on the PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? Like you listen. Like I said again, Sony came, which was smart of them. We're not going to. This is how we trade our games. Well, you see, their first party games. And to be fair, it was Sony that introduced online passes last generation with their games. Like how soon we forget, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it is what it is.
They obviously were when that whole thing was going on. They had plans for it as well. They just knew to pull the plug, and that's smart of them. They knew, and unfortunately, and I still see.
Was it really so bad though, Tim? But was it really so bad when you walked into GameStop? No longer they bend you over and say, "Hey,
listen." At the time, yeah, you knew that the public was against them.
But why though?
Still want to. Because they didn't want there was just too much fun about it.
Horrible. They felt that they were, but again, there were people that thought that they were taking away their hard copy.
Right.
There are people and that felt like they were infringing on their right to buy what they wanted.
I said they did a horrible job at explaining it.
They did, yeah, they did. I mean, this is an old topic, but it is funny to go back, especially when you look at games like Destiny and The Division and other Titanfall that are DRM centric. And the fact of it is, you got to have those games always online if you want those free games on PSN or on Xbox Live. DRM. I mean, it is what it is. I just think that it's Microsoft should have did a better job at explaining.
They should have stuck to their guns.
But the one thing, but hold on, let me just say this: the one thing that I think that we as Xbox fans need to stop doing is helping Sony haters. Xbox haters to keep talking about 2013. It's dead. It's a dead horse. Kill that motherfucker. Let it go. Put it to the pasture. Put it on a motherfucking pike. Burn it up. Seal it up. Al Qaeda that motherfucker. Send it to Hades. Get it out of here.
What do you mean? What do you mean about 20? What happened as far as what?
Well, 2013, the Xbox debacle, the fucking reason why we hear all the same shit. Xbox has this and that.
Maybe I just believe Mountain Dew and shit Doritos. I don't look at it as a debacle. Honestly, I really don't. Listen, again, I think they. I don't know what happened, but they misread the viewership. It was the hardcore gamer that took off work to watch the show, not the casual.
I don't get from Microsoft, and I still think that they do this to a point. Now they could have a focus group of 5 people.
Yes.
And 5 of those people would say, "Hey, this is going bad. Everything is horrible. I saw this person. They said they're not going to get an Xbox. This person's going to start a blog."
Panic, right?
And everyone in that focus group is like, "Don't do it." They present it to Xbox. And Xbox says, "Okay, we'll evaluate your data and we'll take it wholeheartedly." Then Xbox goes out in 2013 and they announce fucking DRM on stage like morons. Okay, when they have their corporate mindset set on something, they do not seem to deviate. You cannot run a business like that. You have to take the time and the day as it is in that day, and you have to adjust to that. You cannot say our vision is our vision and there's nothing changes.
Okay,
it just doesn't work like that.
Hey Tim, I agree with you to a certain extent, because what happens with this Microsoft that we have right now, they're afraid of their own shadow. You know what I mean? And again, and what I say, I have to thing my grandma said, "Don't panic." They threw the baby out threw the water out with the baby. Is that again, all those features and everything that we were getting with the original Xbox One 2013. I was happy and excited for. You know what I mean? I was. The fact that I can say we all going to play, we're going to live stream at Friday at 8 p.m. We promoting the match. We set the match up, right? Set the match up. But right now I'm playing Voodoo Vince or whatever the hell I'm playing, right? And then at 8 o'clock I get a notification. I can go from Voodoo Vince to Battlefield with no lag and no load time. That was epic. That blew my mind. That's next generation.
Yeah, the first little conference that was showing the TV aspect, the snap feature, and all that. That was awesome. That's what sold me. What the problem was with that though
is that what happened with that, and I'm not gonna say any names, but I spoke to people like I said within the loop, within the know, and it's been as an Xbox fan, but what happened was we was in this generation for so long. What last year was 8-9 years. And when Sony had their show, they didn't even show the console. They just we saw some next generation games, some graphics, and we were excited. So when it came to Microsoft show,
fucking that tech demo that people,
or whatever the case may be,
exactly. But they spoke to
So again, to the hardcore, to the demographic, you know what I mean. And then when Microsoft show, we wanted to see new games. You know, I understand E3 might have been a month and a half away, and the features were cool, and all those features that they showed, I think, were awesome. You know what I mean? That was dope to have original TV content on your console, because again, no one just buys a console just to play games. Like, if you look at, and he say men buy Women lie, numbers don't lie. You look in the Guinness Book of World Records, the PS3 set the record for Netflix usage. This is not my opinion. This is a fact. You know what I mean? The early sales of the PS3 back then was for a Blu-ray player. You know what I mean? Whether people choose to
well, the PS2 was for the DVD player. I mean, that's just
right.
Sony. Here's the thing: Sony used each of their PlayStations to push a format of something other than gaming. The original PlayStation played CDs, and that was a big deal back in the day, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, and then the PS2 pushed the DVD player, PS3 Blu-ray, PS4 again Blu-ray. You know what I mean? So yeah, they were pushing that agenda too. They have their own. PlayStation has their own thing. They have the View that's owned by Sony.
Yes.
That View TV or whatever. So they actually had more content that they were creating for TV, quote unquote, than Microsoft did.
Sure.
So yeah, so you know, they had that Power Show, and they did some other stuff as well. So
There's
that was
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
No,
like that was always funny. That the only thing that problem I had with that was nobody had an issue with it when Sony was doing it, but everybody had a huge issue.
The damage was done.
Yeah, but there's people at work that, you know, they don't care about this. You know, so, you know, they're working. I'll show a little something about I was showing something about Madden 18 and how I was excited about it, and they were like, yeah, and then we started talking about movies after that, and then they would start talking about, oh, is it on PlayStation View? You know, and I'm like, I'm cracking up to myself, like, I mean, these are just people that just has PlayStation 4s and they watch PlayStation View, and I'm just dying inside. Like,
God bless their hearts. At least
God
somebody's
bless their heart. I mean, but that was the thing. Like, people they think that all of these PlayStation 4s that's in the wild is all catering to games, and that's not the case. I don't, you know, and it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, the people that contradicted themselves and was talking about Xbox was TV. Sony keeps showing commercials about TV. So,
you know, listen, you see a big thing about the crackdown when the video came out, and that stupid thing, and people, you have Xbox fans saying, you know, they can't fuck up the message, and Xbox fans are right at this point. Mm-hmm. If you look and you see how critical it's going to be with Xbox One X, that they have to have this to be successful. Right now, it looks like that Sony again has won MPD. Well, Switch has won MPD. Sony is up like 38%. They're at 220, and it sounds like Xbox at MPD is under 100,000, or is in the $100,000 mark. Those are numbers that you have to look at, and you have to say, okay, this is kind of serious. You know, we have a chance with X. We can't make the same mistakes that we've made in the past,
right?
Because if they do, it's done. I'm telling you right now, if X does not sell, and I will be the first to tell you, you know, I love Xbox. If X does not sell and it's doing this shitty, and it doesn't have the push that we all think that it is. Now we all let me preface this saying, I think that MPD, that they're gonna shoot back, and they're gonna probably win MPD if they're gonna lose
December.
Switch. In November. Okay.
How about that Switch, Z? Huh?
Listen, I'll also say come back in a year.
Damn. You can't even find that shit, bro.
I bet you $50 I can walk into my Kmart tomorrow with my raggedy ass, and I can take a picture of about 5 Switches in Kmart.
Buy one, man.
Yeah, considering the first Kmart by me here in Michigan closed, where's there an open Kmart?
Dude, yo, Z, if you can buy one, put that shit on eBay, because those things are going for like.
I ain't got the time in it, bro. I ain't got the time.
I'm just saying, man. I told you, man. Those things would have won. Like,
listen, all new consoles sell well. That's all.
No. Wii U wasn't winning no MVPs.
Switch is probably the favorite to win November right now, but.
I doubt
besides that, I don't think so.
Hold on. Switch won't win November if they don't have the stock.
If they don't have the stock.
Yeah, like
Microsoft. Listen, you gotta realize this. It's wrong. You know, Sony and we'll just say Nintendo was new, so we're gonna revisit this conversation a year from now. Okay, but Sony has 2 consoles on the market. They have the Pro, what is one of the 5, and they also have the standard, which all get combined into one. Microsoft just has the Xbox One S, right? So again, going into November, they're going to have 2 SKUs. You know what I mean? Again, this is the Xbox One alone, the X. Microsoft, they're going to do about 1 million. You know what I mean? Normally, like I said, even the big public backlash that Microsoft got in 2013, still broke records. It was only out on the market for like 3 days and still almost sold 1 million units. You know what I mean? And it ended up winning December's MPD. It wasn't like January and really the hate really started to take form. And it was
well, you know what's happening right
they
now.
were saying that was Switch dependent, but just to make my point, because we went on the thing, they have to fucking take this serious. They have to take this data and they have to say we have to be serious. There's no more friends. There's no more playing nice guy. You have to tout Xbox One X and you have to tout it as shitting on Pro because it does shit on Pro.
You know what you also need to do, Tim? I think they need to. I don't know, maybe axe this whole Xbox Play Anywhere thing. I'm just saying.
No, crap. You're right.
Reevaluate. Hey, no, hold on. Reevaluate it. Yeah. I'm not saying don't do it at all, but I'm just saying it seems to me that the Xbox One was doing better when you could only get it like Halo 5 and those games, like when you could only get those games on the Xbox console.
Yeah. Well, the primary Xbox exclusives, like Dead Rising 4, let it go to the PC.
But still, here's the thing, Mega, and again, I said this when we talked about. Well, I was, crap really got a big blowback, but I said this back then. When did Quantum Break announced? 2015? Was it 2015 or 2016?
Dude, it got announced at the fucking event, the show-off event, 2013.
Okay, fine. It was 2015, right? Was it 2015 or was it 2016?
2013. It got announced at 2013 and it released in
Xbox Anywhere stuff that the games were going. When was it announced? Was it in 2015?
2015, yeah.
Okay, all right, listen. I said this and I said this back then. And again, sometimes I'll call myself Neo-Domus before my time. I said, this is not a good thing. And again, it's not about someone gets to play the game. What's never about it. If you go back to the original Xbox, all of their biggest exclusives have always been on PC. But even when I spoke to Seamus Blackley I read an article, an old one, that the PC demographic and the console were two different consumers. You know what I mean? We're two different consumers. I'll give you an example. A PC guy doesn't really like the restriction of a console. They don't like paying $60 for games either, or even paying for them at all. But the fact that they said, I'm gonna strip this game, this game down to its bare bones. All the characters are gonna have a bra on. What other weird stuff they do on PC? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
A good example to this Z would be this, right? They make Halo Wars 2, right? It's really stripped down compared to an RTS on a PC strictly, right?
Okay.
So PC dudes didn't give a shit about Halo Wars 2, and there's not enough fan base for RTSs on console for them to give a shit about it. So to me, like, there's going to be a new Age of Empires announced at Gamescom, but it's not going to come to the Xbox. It's going to be strictly PC. So why is it okay to have games strictly for PC, but not games strictly to Xbox?
Even better, again, you have to, I understand Microsoft is a software company, and they want their software on as many devices as possible. I get it. That's why I said I felt more comfortable in the days of Bomber and those guys, because even though they would get the teeth kicked in.
Again, I don't think you dropped the program altogether.
No,
but you reevaluate it and see.
Listen, crap. I could agree with that. I could back off of my stance.
I got this big public backlash. Not that I care on Twitter, right? And again, I'm just giving you the thing why I didn't like the Windows 10 stuff. We had the whole Win 10 fan and all that stuff. Those things that they were advertising, I'm talking about Microsoft kind of lost the direction. Things that they were advertising and promoting were things that console gamers don't really care about. I've used that Xbox Play Anywhere maybe one time with Killer Instinct, and it crashed on my PC. I'm not interested. It's not my thing. So when you put that whole Windows 10 stuff in front of your quote unquote your E3 stuff, and again, they thought about putting Gears of War 4 on Windows 10. That did more harm than good. I've been playing Gears faithfully. This has been a part of one of my religions for about 2 months now. I ran into 2 PC guys twice. I've been playing this game, ranked matches, unranked matches, 2 times. Them putting Forza on PC or Windows 10 did more harm than good.
No, Forza's doing good on PC. No, Forza Apex.
I'm not talking about Forza Horizon. I'm talking about the real games. I'm talking about the bread and the meat and the potatoes here. But even with Recore, again, you have to leave some value to, because you are in the business to sell hardware at the end of the day. You have this thing here, this device called the Xbox, and I said this before. If you look at most people's combinations, whatever the case, they have a PS4. I'm sorry, have a PC, and somebody have a PS4. You know what I mean? Because they feel they can't get the Uncharted or whatever the case may be on anywhere else. But again, why would I buy a console but I can have the buy an Xbox where I can have the better version of the game on my PC?
Right. Well, Xbox has a lot of fucking problems right now. If you really
That's
want
one of them.
that's one of them. Another one is that they don't want to invest in third party, and another one is that we don't know what's going on first party creation. We don't see studios. We don't know what's what. Console exclusivity tags seem to matter more than exclusive games. There's a lot of things that Xbox has to get right.
Yeah.
And the problem is when you see these fucking numbers, these numbers annoy me. You know, when I see 100K, I get annoyed because what's happening is you're getting deemed irrelevant. You're in Wii U territory. Thanks for the feedback, Xbot.
Xbot.
Yo,
Mike, what the fuck, bro?
what happened?
Mute your mic.
Dude, we're hearing the BGST through your mic.
Yeah, we sound good
bad.
now, right, guys?
There you go.
All right,
There you
but
go.
the
What's
point
going
is
on,
that-
everybody?
What's going on?
All right.
Chef Bot, get your shit
But
together.
the point is that I get annoyed when I see that.
Okay.
You see 100 fucking K, that means you're fucking going into Wii U fucking status.
Dude, that's
all right?
less than Wii U.
No, we
That
they
is
was doing like
fucking
they was doing 30,000 a month.
Nah, man, you,
27, 20,000
man,
a
that
month.
shit was hitting like there were times it would do 100K or 90K a month.
That
That's
was still.
not-
I'm talking about those. The end part that was like literally they was doing like 13.
Oh well, yeah, the Wii U was that's because that was
Yeah.
garbage. But I mean,
I know. Listen, I will say this. Once this, this is August, right, Tim? This is August.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
okay,
the
August.
X is going to be.
A lot of people are probably waiting to get, you know, I won't say a lot of casuals. This thing is not selling well to the casuals, okay? A lot of, say, gamers, you know, because again, you know, it's the hardcore that buy it first, and we kind of set the trend a little bit for the casual. And when people are waiting, why am I gonna get the S or whatever the case may be when the more the powerful console comes out in about 2 months. So it's the same thing. You remember the PS4 numbers were down when the Pro was announced, or you know, and I won't say it was selling this bad, but people were waiting to get the Pro, and then you know, instead of buying a standard PS4.
But when you talk about the casual market, they haven't even really started marketing the X. So the people who are
That's
going
another
out
thing.
and casually like picking up an Xbox, you would think that they would be picking up an S right now, and that number is crazy low. And
here's the thing: you could get an S for like under $200 right now.
Okay, but here's
With
the thing,
4
though.
games.
At the end of the day, right? This is God's honest truth, okay? And to piggyback on some of the things that we talked about before, I don't know what it is. It seems like to me when Microsoft at E3, I'll give you an example. E3 last year, they had momentum coming out after E3, right? With the S or whatever the case, and everybody was psyched about the Xbox One X or Project Scorpio, and then Microsoft kind of easily took their foot off the gas. After E3 again, they had this momentum with the Xbox One X, and then we saw the games. And I told you guys then that we should be starting to see, whether, I don't care whether it's who watches TV or not, even when you go into your local GameStop or Best Buy. I went to GameStop, they had to get a point card. I haven't been to GameStop forever. I just rode by one. And there's nothing, no mention of this console. And I was in there looking like, what are you waiting on? Like, your console comes out in 2 months, 8 weeks. What are you waiting on?
Well, it comes out in almost 3 months.
Yeah,
August is here, bro. September, October.
I think we're gonna get. I think they're gonna open pre-orders. This
Yeah,
Sunday.
that's what we look. The sins of the father. Hopefully, the sins of the father will not come back and haunt the Xbox brand like it did.
He quoting Jay-Z right there.
You know what I'm saying? So let's just go ahead and just and let's move on to the future, which is the X.
Here's the thing, right? Like it is a little bit of a head scratcher that you don't open up your pre-orders as soon as possible, because that way you can get a good percentage of how many people are going to pre-order this thing, right? Like you got to know. But I'm with Tim that like the sales of the Xbox One right now, that's really, really bad. Like if you look at the numbers that they've had this entire year, really bad. I mean, like phenomenal.
It's starting to take a toll when you have the other companies coming out with all these games, and you have Xbox saying, "Hey, you gotta wait, you gotta wait."
For 3 years, they've been coming out with
It doesn't matter. I agree, but that's in the past, though. Xbox.
Well, see what's going on here, man. What's going on here is you're in a transition right now. Last year, the S came out, and that boosted hardware sales. I've never been a big person about touting, hardware sales and whatnot. Like I do see what you're saying about that number being low, but unfortunately,
it was horrible low last month too.
Unfortunately, if you look at all this, right? Microsoft, Xbox, listening to the fans. You know what I'm saying? They did away with the third-party support. They invested more in first-party, game development and stuff like that. Games take about 3 years to make. right now, you're in the middle of that transition. You are going to hit low numbers right now.
Well, let me point this out real quick. So this is supposedly under 100K for July. They did.
Hopefully that's not true. But
well, that's what I'm seeing. June 150K, May 109K, April 109K, March 243K, February 215K, January 157K.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's
tax return.
Listen, hold on. I just want to say one thing, okay? And maybe this may make sense. You know what I mean? And maybe, again, because I didn't understand, hey, say quote unquote, the push that people wouldn't get when I was saying. Xbox, you just said, you know, I mean that the transition phase and all that stuff, right? And get all that, right? If you and it's bigger than the numbers, okay? Because you said Xbox listening to the fans. It's not the fans, okay? It wasn't
the ones that said, you know what?
It wasn't the fact that they last generation, they just had, they were heavily vested into the third party marketing and stuff. That wasn't the issue, okay? It's just that at the last bit of the 360 life cycle before the Xbox, they stopped doing exclusives, more or less. You know what I mean? And so, and again,
they did connects exclusive.
Yeah, okay. Even with this generation, okay. And bro, listen, trust me, I was out there. This is one of my books with all my damage control videos. They spend over $1 billion on exclusive IPs and this, that, and the other, right? They did that, but then they also moved away from the third party marketing. All right. Now here's again what I don't understand when I was trying to tell Mega or whatever the case may be, what are they doing with this money? But you have Sony now again, and this is what I don't understand. I understand it's a business. You have Sony, who doesn't have a fraction of what Microsoft has, right? Just don't have not even on the same scale, not even the same playing field. And when I say that they're out hustling, not only are they doing the marketing and the third party deals, that they're also now bringing out their exclusives. You know what I mean? So I'm sitting back, you scratching your head like, what the hell are you doing?
You are my brother, man. But here's the deal: like whatever Sony has done this generation has been applauded. Remember the beginning of the generation, it was about indies. Then all of a sudden it went to third-party support, everything like that.
That's just narratives, though. That's
but no, here's the thing, though.
They still applaud it, though.
They rode that.
Points. Yeah.
They rode that. That was successful to them. Anytime Xbox turns around and makes a decision, not only do they have the extremists on the other side, the stables and stuff like that, but we as an Xbox community, we put shit under the magnifying glass as well. So they're getting double scrutinized for decisions that they're making, man.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, forget the weirdos out in TV land that's not going to buy your product anyway. When you say I'm what you call an Xbox guy, right? Bleed green. And if I'm not talking about the people that they complain on Twitter that's not going to buy the console anyway, that's not going to put their money where their mouth is. We're talking about a consumer that's been with you guys since 2001, Xbox Live since 2002. Okay, the proof is in the. He said, "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie." So at the end of the day, and again, it's not that Sony gets applause because I can care less what Sony does on what they think. Okay, you can't just not do it because in this climate and especially now, exclusives, I don't care what it is, they don't hold the weight that it once did. Whether it's Mario, Sonic, or Halo, or whatever, they don't hold the punch that they once did. Everything is.
Well, shit, that's the only thing that Sony's talking about right now are their God of Wars, their Spider-Mans, shit like that coming out.
That's huge for them. And again,
it's exclusive, man. So
okay, but what on the Xbox side of things? Just to be clear, what do I have to look forward to?
That's what I'm talking about. Like when we started this generation, right?
Okay.
Of course, Microsoft fucked up miserably when it came to the launch, and they've been playing catch up with themselves ever since.
Okay.
Not only that, they opened up that consumer feedback, that gamer feedback, and there are trolls in that whole feedback shit, giving them a whole bunch of shit about stuff that they're not even gonna do. All right, that the gamer doesn't even want. There are trolls within that trying to push things out there, and Xbox is listening to everything, man. I've said this time and time again on BGST. Xbox needs to have a direction. They need to have balance. Z, I agree with you about third party. I feel that they need to do third party and exclusives. They have to have a balance. But now what we're doing now is they put all their chips in. They're like, man, consumer feedback, gamer feedback. And for a while there, the Xbox community just kept on saying, we want more exclusives. We want more exclusives. So guess what? They took away from third-party support. They went in, invested in exclusives. Now, the thing is, you're not hearing about a lot of these right now because Phil Spencer also believes that you don't tease the future, which I also disagree with. I feel like you show the games that are coming out within a year, but then you got to tease people beyond that. You got to let them know that there is a future 2 years, 3 years ahead on your platform. They're not doing that either. Man, it's a double whammy.
No, well, again, the last part I was going to say, it wasn't, and remember they used to tease Microsoft about their E3s and the Call of Duty. Sometimes they just, to me, like they just had no clue what's going on. It wasn't the fact that you had the Call of Duty thing, which again, how you say that's a how you say a very profitable game. It's not the juggernaut that it once was, but it wasn't. Again, that they just like I said, in the last few years of the 360 life, so all they were doing were the third-party deals and nothing for their exclusives. So this generation, Mike said, "Oh, we got to answer to that. We're gonna," which I think is good though. We're gonna invest $1 billion in 2 new games. Fine, but you can't just say, you know what? You can't also stop doing what the competition is doing or whatever. Listen, you can't just say turn your back and say, you know what? The game is coming to our platform anyway. We don't need that. We got this. You have to do both. And that's what I'm saying. Why could Sony do both? And you're not doing.
You said doing what your competition is doing. The only reason why your competition is doing it is because you loosened the reins on those deals to begin with, man.
Okay, well, fine. Well, I'm just saying, but we cannot, again, agree that that Destiny deal was very lucrative for Sony. Very lucrative. You know what I mean? The Star Wars Battlefront, that won them that E3 with all those, and I told you guys, that you have gamers, guys that are not even gamers, they're going to go out and buy that PS4 just for that Star Wars, you know, the what do you call that shit? My man. Dark Vader thing, like that's huge for them, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about, them not really having a clue, and again, it comes down to having Sony out hustling that, because you still have to do your exclusive, but you also have to do
exactly
the multi-platform, because again, we get exclusives once every 3 months, yeah. But you get multi-platform every Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I agree. But the thing is that you also have to have, if you're Microsoft, you also have to be open to saying some of your ideas haven't worked. Maybe Play Anywhere is not working. Play Anywhere seems to, listen, the exclusivity problem seems to be banging home. There's a reason. Listen, we could say, we could talk about narratives. We could talk about everything what we want. But there's a real, when numbers indicate you're only selling 100,000. There's a problem there. If there was no Xbox would be fucking up fucking Shit's Creek right now.
That's why there is an X.
But of course, they planned for that 4 years ago. But the fact is that if you told them this would be the position that they're in, they would laugh at you. But the fact is that they're not in a good position. They are losing mind share. They are losing. This was supposed to be the year of momentum. You could argue that they have no momentum. Right
well, I never thought it was a year of momentum.
Well, that's what Mr. Eagle said from Xbox. He said tipping point. So
go ahead.
I just at this point, I just think that they have to have the ability to adjust. What that means is when X comes out, don't fucking go kumbaya. Be fucking competitive.
No, I totally
say that your shit's the best, and stop fucking kissing ass. No, I don't think you could do both. Because
you both, man.
Well, you probably could, but you also have to say, "Hey, we're fucking better than the competition."
Okay, but see, this is where I interject. I have to say this. Okay.
Let's hear it.
I made this point a million times, and I will say it again. If Xbox comes out and they become too arrogant, they'll get more scrutinized than they are right now, because of the fact that they are the ones that has all the money and all the power, and they can do whatever they want to. If they come out here stomping around, acting like, "Oh, we'll do what the hell we want." Yes, us as Xbox would love that, but to everyone else, that they will eat that alive, and that will be the most negative thing that Xbox could do. Now, I do agree, but
I don't think Tim's saying stomp around and everything, man. Just promote the features and the hardware and the games that you have.
But they have to do
what I'm saying, gentlemen, is that I agree that Xbox needs to make themselves be.
I'm trying to. What you're saying?
Hey, okay, what was it?
No, I'm not. I'm also with you for your statement. You're trying to say if Microsoft comes out and be too brash and cocky, then it would like
right? Yeah, they come too just too arrogant. Like they can be cocky about the X. They can talk about the power aspect, show the difference in games and things like that. But there's a fine line. Look, we're in a time right now where people feel that if you say something too much, I mean, me and Crafter sit here and talked about that. Some people just don't like the way you say certain things.
Yeah, so they on that approach this whole generation. You even got Nintendo out there taking shots.
I mean, when Nintendo, Nintendo is it. Nintendo, you know what Nintendo has done? Stayed in their own lane, and they've done it their way this whole time. They've thumbed their nose.
They had direction, man.
That's right.
What I'm saying about this.
Look how long it took for Nintendo to get back on direction.
Exactly, and Xbox
took a long fucking time for people to think Nintendo's relevant.
Look, here's the thing.
They have to make this turn, so it's going to take time. But I mean, look, I understand time is running out for all this shit. Look, as a person, I don't care about the sales numbers. I know what I like better than whatever the other thing is.
Okay,
I know what my preference is. But if we're going to talk about it from this business aspect, Microsoft has to be smart on this, on it with it. By look. You know what I'm saying? We're here for the gamer. We're not here to tell you, hey, look, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is the best shit ever. We're gonna smash every fucking thing out there out of the water. What we're gonna do is show you what this thing can do, show you these games, and present these games. Now, I do agree with. I have changed my stance. I've listened to it strong enough about the Play Anywhere. They need to take the strong exclusives off of it and let them just have a third party.
Let it be fucking indies.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Indies and things like that.
You know what, K-Maker? Listen, and here's the thing about that, about them being afraid of their own shadow, okay? Microsoft is not a humble company. Never have been, okay? That nice guy, mentality gets you nowhere. Nice guys finish last. If you look at this, look like you say men lie, women lie numbers. If you're going back to the height of the Xbox thing was during the 360 era, and they were as cocky. Look at Donnie D. Look at Donnie.
I'm tired of you talking about fucking Donnie D. Donnie D is the one that started this shit. See? You keep on bringing up that stupid motherfucker.
Listen, I will give you a chance to interject.
Go ahead. I'm so sick.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example, right? When what's my man name that does the the Video Game Awards or whatever, Jeff Keighley, he was interviewing Donnie D in around 83, and he said, "Well, hey, when Sony, they came out there with God of War, this, that, and the other. What do you guys? What? He said, what? Cool. Listen, we got Gears, we got Halo. He said Halo 3 outsold every PlayStation exclusive combined for that year. Look, we are okay, even though they can't. That's the year that they took the stage and Usher was out there dancing on the Kinect. You have to be. Yeah. You have to you know what I mean? It's being real, you know what I mean? And again, whether you like him or love him with Donnie D.
No, it's just the fact that Donnie D is the one that caused this mess. Oh, he's the one that caused this.
Yeah, he is the one that caused it.
He's the one that caused this. And you know what? And it's sad that
Connect out the box should have. It was Microsoft again. It was their wording, and what I'm just talking about from a.
It's I'll give you an example. You cannot go and you can tell your fan base because it made me almost pick the PlayStation 4 up first when I heard him and Adam Sessler had that talk, and he said, about hey, if you want to play all. If you want to play, we got a 360. That shit was wrong.
That makes you mad or upset. And listen, well, I'm saying this. So we got to be clear here. How could that comment alone? We got a console for you, right? And of course, and we do have a console for you. It's a 360. But how could you be mad and upset about that when you have Nintendo say the shit that they said they're being cocky?
But Matrick put us.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, what I mean, again, what I'm saying is one thing being out of touch, okay? Being out of touch. What I mean by you got Microsoft again. This Microsoft out there afraid of their own shadow. When you out there constantly kissing Sony's ass, hey, good job, Naughty Dog, and woo-hoo-hoo. And when you have Gears or Halo coming out and no one and it's not reciprocated, okay? This is what I'm talking about. You talking about having a slice of humble pie? Like, what are you guys out there doing? I can't wait to go home and play Breath of the Wild on my Switch when you just released. I don't care for the game.
All I know is Donnie D in the 360 era, man. I had less exclusives. There was more third-party deals, and people were bitching about it. Yeah.
Listen. For some reason, Xbox sounds like he's in a submarine, but
really?
Yeah, you sound like you're far away. Like check your check the settings in the Hangout.
Either my mic is too close, it's too far. What the?
No, listen. Look at all the exclusives that we had during the 360 era.
Oh, I know what it is. My bad, yo. Hold
Just
on.
think about it. You know, I mean, listen. And I would say this, you know, just like you said, the gamer, like you said, even like you said again, and it's not about who I like the most or whatever. You know, those exclusives that you guys like and you praise, whether it's Sunset Rise, all that came from under Donnie D. You know what I mean? You know, that $1 billion that was allocated for gaming, that got the green lights from Donnie D, right?
Donnie D was the one that also was like, let's make a real focus on the Kinect and make our console less powerful.
Right. Donnie D took away the exclusives that we could actually probably have now on the Xbox One.
Do you know that Donnie D, he canceled Halo, the Halo MMO? They had $90 million invested to create a World of Warcraft killer.
Listen, I think you
and he canceled it to do Kinect.
Okay, oh listen, that can be the same thing. What's the name?
That Milo demo was sweet.
Listen, what's the name we got?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? With the scale bell, with the table, whatever the case. That can, I understand it. I'm not understanding it. You say Donnie D is more of a businessman than he is a gamer or whatever the case. This business, he the one made Xbox Live so profitable with the ads and just that. It's a business at the end of the day. I'm just talking about pride.
With the ads,
I'm just talking about pride in your console.
Dude, listen to what, dude. If Donnie D killed the Xbox, bro, Phil Spencer resurrected that shit.
Phil had a lot of.
There is no Xbox without Phil Spencer. It was a tarnished brand. There is no Xbox without Phil Spencer.
Yeah, it was the Scarlet Witch. It was the Scarlet Witch. Yeah, the Xbox. If the Xbox One did not make any changes
anywhere.
Look, man, it's more than that.
Going day and date, that wasn't on the Donnie D.
Phil took a behemoth of a problem that was going on and resurrected it.
Listen. What are we making about? I'll give you an example. Okay, fine. And again, shout out to Phil. And I know sometimes it seems like Phil, I give you a hard time. It's not that. I'm gonna be honest here, okay? Some of the issues that we are complaining about, whether it's marketing, third party, whatever the case, all the things that
they are Phil's, yeah.
Okay, that wasn't Donnie D. We didn't have those same problems last,
because we didn't have a new IP or an exclusive.
Thank you.
From 2010 onwards, it was all Kinect.
Well, again, now, let's look at the 360.
Yeah, the last new IP on 360 was Alan Wake.
Okay. And Donnie D.
No,
people, listen. I argued this with Jeremy. Okay. I argued people were happier when Xbox was winning and had shit games coming out. That is just a fact. Xbox fans were happier when it was number one.
I'm not happy in that situation.
But in 2010, you didn't. But 2010, 11, 12, you didn't hear this much unrest. You really didn't.
That's because I wasn't on YouTube.
That's all that I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying that they're just
That's all that I'm saying.
Well, listen. I think
people don't like to be last place. All right, and I always tell this to everyone.
That's all that I'm
if you're in last place, you're gonna be fucking miserable. Doesn't matter. Even when we did have a fucking bunch of games that came out, Xbox fans were miserable because whatever it was resolution getting kicked in the face. And we were in 2013, 14. When there were games that weren't, so like I had guys fucking hyping Octodad and fucking some trivial shit with straight faces to me against Xbox. Still Xbox fans were upset because we weren't in first place.
I was perfectly happy on the OG Xbox not being in first place, getting a ton of new experiences. All sorts of shit like that.
That's you, but I'm just saying. I agree. There are some people, but for the most part, people just hate being fucking in last place. And I have to say that includes myself. I don't like being in last place either. When I hear 100K, I get fucking pissed.
No, that's funny. Okay, but let me say this. Z, let me ask you a question right now.
Yes.
Do Donnie D have a job right now?
I don't know what he doesn't even.
Yeah, Zynga.
He got fired for that dude.
Oh, he got fired?
Yeah.
I think you're missing what I'm saying, and it's not about who's what and Phil's for this and that. No, we gotta listen. We gotta tell the whole story. We act like Phil Spencer was the janitor.
Yeah, he's now 3 years in. You're right.
Yeah, you're acting like Phil Spencer was the janitor when Donnie D was there. People complain about the direction that Fable took. I mean, it was not mistaken. It was Phil. They took the idea to Donnie D. He wrote the check to start the production.
No. Donnie D pushed the fucking Fable Legends. That was a Donnie D shit.
Well, here's the thing. No, here's the thing. What I'm saying, you mean like
No, that's
Donnie D never seen studios.
Donnie D. Fable Legends was Donnie D.
Right. Besides this ago, unless and this Tim, if I'm wrong, you can interject here, okay? Those studios start working on whatever title they're working on. They give it to whether it's now I don't know, I think it's Aaron's job or whatever. Then Aaron takes that down the road to Phil, get the green light to start the game. That's how it works. If I'm not mistaken, right? Am I right?
What's that?
Yeah, isn't Aaron still head of marketing?
Okay,
Martin's chief.
Aaron does. Yeah, Aaron isn't head of marketing.
Paraphrasing here.
This
is how it works, right?
Mike
These studios come up with these ideas or whatever, right? And then I'm just using it for an example. They give that idea to say to Aaron Greenberg, and Aaron Greenberg looks at the idea. Whether you know what, I like it. You know what I mean? Because he may even just shoot it down. I don't like it. Go back to the drawing board, okay? But then he likes it, and he takes that IP, what they're working on, takes it to Donnie D or Phil, then they write the check and they get green light to start making the game. That's how it works, right?
Well, no, listen, like Phil, everybody has a boss. Like Phil had a boss too. Phil had multiple bosses.
No, I'm just asking.
Like, look, you like your job. You're not going to sit there and go, okay, you know what? I don't like that idea. Like Phil, obviously, he even says, I was in the boardroom when we were talking about this shit. I could have spoke up, but obviously you like your job, and so you don't.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is that this is what I'm saying is that I'm just giving you an example as far as Fable Legends, right? You know, and I'm a huge Fable.
Yeah, Donnie D's like, hey, let's get this game out there. Let's do this.
Donnie D didn't go out to studios and check in. No, they had someone in trouble. I believe it was Phil. The idea they got together to work on the concept, and it was them. It went from me to say Phil, whoever it was, and then goes to Donnie D. Then he green lights on it. And then hey, we cut the check and start making.
Or no, it goes down. Like they're like, hey, we want to push some Windows stuff. We want to do this, and then Donnie goes, hey, what do you guys think about this as a service?
That Windows
what do you think?
Went on, but that was after Donnie D was gone.
Well, no, look, Donnie was all Donnie. Here's the thing, Donnie was the one that was leading the games for Windows Live when he tried to charge people for online on PC.
No. Donnie handed off a fucking Titanic. Okay,
yeah, that's basically he ruined the action.
Now Phil has done a lot of great things. He has rebuilt a lot of things that were broken. But Phil has. Well, like
the entire fucking image of the console.
Okay, let me ask you a question. So what
got it back to game, not TV. He's done a lot of things. X was part of his thinking.
No problem.
Okay, so he's done a lot of good things, but there are things that he hasn't that doesn't look like to do. Xbox Play Anywhere, you can use that against him.
Okay, let me ask you guys a question. We can be honest here, okay? All right, we all know the public backlash or whatever. I'll give you an example. Tomb Raider, right? Tomb Raider. We should go back. What happened with that? They got the deal. I want you guys to be honest. Do you think that Square Enix would have did that if Donnie D was there?
Yes.
Shit me.
Dude, they would have. You're like sucking Donnie D's dick. The guy ruined Xbox. The guy fucking ruined it. I am always.
You like Sunset Overdrive? Did you like?
Dude, I am. Did you like? I am so. Yeah.
Who that came from?
That was from Donnie D.
Dude, I understand that. That's what it comes from.
But guess what? You know what you love and you praise right now.
He was also the same guy that was like, hey, guess what? We're not going to give people the fucking option to buy a camera as well. Dude, you're defending the guy that ruined our fucking brand.
I'm not defending anyone. But the things that we're complaining about right now to this day are in the field. Donnie D's long gone. He's gone.
No, dude, we are not. You're defending the guy that ruined the brand.
Not defending anyone.
I can't believe you defending that dude after.
Look, anybody that defends Donnie D or says, "Look, I'm not saying that Phil is the fucking is the be all end all." I'm saying that he saved Xbox. That's a fact.
You know the best Xbox president that we ever had. You know who that was?
Balmer.
Wasn't Donnie D? Wasn't Phil? It was fucking Peter Moore.
Jay Allard, son.
Peter Moore.
Jay Allard.
Jay, I won't even have lost with Xbox. Peter fucking Moore was the best fucking president that Xbox has ever had.
It's just unbelievable, man. Like, look, Donnie D fucked Xbox, and then Phil patches it up as best as he can and has a total shit sandwich.
No marketing, no third-party deals.
Dude, because guess what? If we did that shit, you wouldn't have an Xbox. They were probably ready to fucking end the whole thing. Dude, you don't understand how bad Xbox was doing.
You
don't
understand. I know I do.
You don't.
What we're talking
Dude,
about
if you don't
right now,
like, when I see people, this is what I see. I see people on Twitter today. They're like, "We got to get that marketing, that third-party marketing." I'm like, "Would you rather have third-party marketing or a fucking Xbox?" Because I can tell you right now, there's not going to be fucking enough money to do all the shit they used to. Lose all that fucking money, have all that hate. It doesn't make sense from a business perspective.
Why do you think
So
they're focusing on
this is why I
Xbox community now?
We're talking about money. Again, I could care less about Microsoft money.
I'm not, dude. You would care about it when it directly impacts having a fucking Xbox.
You're telling me right now. Okay, this is what you're saying. Okay, that if they had third-party deals, we wouldn't have the Xbox One X. Is this what you're saying?
I'm saying if they're wasting money on third-party deals, that they would they're severely money crunched. Like anybody that doesn't think that they don't have
what
a
you're saying.
Yo, Z, when you got Top Dog and Nazif defending you in the chat,
you've done lost that shit. You've lost the fucking plot, Z. You've lost the fucking plot, Z. Look.
You guys have that fucking ding dingaling so far up your goddamn asses.
Dude, they don't have the money to do this shit. I'm telling you right now, they don't.
They don't have the money.
No,
they don't have the money.
Look, Z, you're looking at this thing
straight to the Microsoft fucking wallet.
You're looking at this as Microsoft as like the big corporation Microsoft, the hundreds of billions of dollars.
This is what you see. Okay,
you're seeing hundreds of billions of dollars, right? And you assume that they have access to this. They don't. They are incredibly limited with what they're allowed to spend right now. Incredibly.
Let me ask you a question, Ken. Now you just we've heard some for the last 2 episodes. I'm in fucking Allison when we heard some crazy statements come out between we just got saying right now. I mean, Tim, if we had third-party deals, right, like out there advertising aggressively, we wouldn't have an Xbox One X.
I'm saying that that's a distinct possibility that they said that Satya Nadella went to Phil and goes, things aren't looking good. We've got to completely cut down on a lot of things.
And by the
we've heard that. We've heard quote unquote insiders. We've heard that people have said, "Hey, they are running bare bones right now. It's going to take them a while to turn things around because they've lost so much money." And that's the truth. Like that's the truth. If
but
you
but,
don't,
but now, but hold on now. But what Phil's done,
then that's your bad.
But what's Phil done that's positive is that he made the change around to where now Xbox is very profitable, even more profitable than fucking Windows.
No, you guys twisted that shit in the chat box. I'm not saying Microsoft is broke. I'm saying they spent all this money.
Listen,
they're budget soft. That's what they are right now. That's the truth. They're budget soft.
No, listen. Here's some things that Phil could do better. When you say, "Oh, I'm not going to invest in third party," that's a stupid statement. You should be able to invest in third party. Doesn't mean you have to keep exclusive deals like exclusive fucking skins or exclusive fucking DLC.
Right.
I understand
but
that.
They should.
You should have.
They should.
You should not get. Okay, maybe they should, but they should not get shut out versus, Star Wars, Red Dead Redemption. That is not good. That is not good for mindshare. That is one of the reasons why they're probably hitting these shit numbers now on MPD is because the visibility of the brand is dwindling when you do that. Okay, that's one thing. The exclusivity part is now something that I see that maybe is not working itself out. Okay, you look at Gears. You look at that. That game should have fucking been bombastic. It was fucking amazing. It was a bomb. Okay, people did not buy it on PC. You can say there was problems with the Windows Store, but the fact is that people do not want to buy on Windows Store. Okay, they will not buy your game, no matter what the fuck it is. They will not buy your game. They will not play on Windows Store. Okay, they are firmly against that. And then you have people who say, "Well, you don't have exclusives. I'm going to go to somebody who has exclusive baseball game. Bye-bye." Okay, so you're shooting yourself in the foot with those two things. Phil has to reevaluate those things. If he does not adjust and he does not reevaluate, that is going to hurt him.
Guys, there's one thing you're missing with this whole thing. When it comes to Play Anywhere, when it comes to Windows 10, Xbox is a division of Microsoft. When Phil goes to his bosses, he has to let them know how Xbox could be lucrative more. And it has to stretch beyond within what Microsoft is thinking about Windows 10, about cloud computing, everything like that. So Play Anywhere came from that. All right, they thought they could get a little extra money on the PC side of it, maybe bolster the Xbox platform a little bit.
They could have got two prices for the price of one.
Yeah, look, anybody who doesn't think that the Xbox brand has a severe budget on them right now, you need to look at the fucking facts, kids.
Well, okay, but this is the thing right here.
You look at the closures of the studios. You look at all the things that they put.
Yes.
There was a substantial amount of money being lost at the beginning of the Xbox just because the stocks fell down, all types of shit. And now, look, gentlemen, we're running over Rachel Maddow time, so we're gonna have to get ready to wrap this up. But I will say this. I will say this.
That's Crap's favorite girl.
Regardless, but this is what I'm saying is that what Phil did. He changed the ecosystem to where it is now making money. He had to show a new CEO that it had to be profitable, because remember, there was those reports everywhere that they were thinking about shutting down the Xbox division, and then there was also money that they were only giving so much.
There
money
probably
to
were serious talks to sell off the division.
Yeah, there probably was.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Wasn't there the rumors that Amazon was going to buy them?
Well, I mean, like that was fake, but I mean, there is. You have to look at it. Like there was somebody showed me something today where it was that Thoreau guy is like, he's like they aren't even making money. It was
yeah, I did a video on that.
You know,
is that the
but that's probably considering from the get go and the initial costs put into it.
Well, here's the thing: when people are like, but crap, this you're so full of it. Look, here's the thing.
All right.
Look at the facts, folks. Microsoft canceled games, closed down every studio but the ones that make them money. Then you have them not advertising or buying any more ad marketing from the third-party deals that they used to do. Okay. All that means that they're extremely hamstrung in what they're doing.
Well,
it means that they don't have the budget.
And also, they had a new console, though. They also had a new console in the works, and that costs a lot of money as well.
Probably, that was probably one of the things that was pushed back on them.
Okay, I say a little inside tidbit here. Okay, remember, I talked about it. We can close the show with this. How could Microsoft spend $1 billion, right, and come up with a weaker console? Remember, we were all scratching our head. How the hell did they do that, right?
It was because they put in so much money in Kinect development and stuff like that. A lot of it was R&D.
I'm talking about the AMD. I ain't talking about the R&D.
And they were working on the Elite controller as well.
Okay, I'm talking about the $1 billion that they gave AMD. That has nothing to do with the Kinect. I'm talking about the console.
Talk about the stock, yeah.
Yeah. So again, I'm like, how the hell? So now we know there was multiple things, and it was part of it was the Xbox X or whatever the case may be. Cool. All right, $1 billion. I didn't understand it, but now we know again. And again, once one console comes out or whatever the case, this is the nature of the business. You already start on making something new or something else. Okay. Everything that you guys are saying was fact. How could you, again, if you're going to what you're doing, you're saying cut, and they're still getting their teeth kicked in. How could you win when your competitor is a much smaller stability than you are, and they're still doing marketing and they're still giving their exclusives? Okay.
Here's the thing. Somebody also
didn't do exclusives for the first 3 years of the goddamn generation.
But not only that, when people talk about the budget, Xbox is on a budget. Somebody was like, yeah, well, PlayStation's on a budget too. Being a division of Sony, it's the only division in Sony that makes fucking money.
Sony, this is what Sony did.
Exactly.
Sony has more.
What does that matter to me and you? That matters to me.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, Tim, right?
Here's the thing. Like,
what you want is exclusive to you. You want the best for you.
The thing is, you're looking at it like from this, right? I'm like, well, like, yeah, they don't have the money to do it. You're like, I don't care about the money. I don't care about the money either. I only care about the money long enough for them to stay open and afloat.
Why would they listen? If you got Sony, what's the president saying? I watch the guy. He said that if we release 10 exclusives, right, only 3 would make money. 3 would make money, right? 3.
Yeah.
So again, I understand that Sunset Overdrive wasn't a huge success. I understand that Quantum Break or whatever wasn't a huge success, okay? But when I said this back 2 years ago, the only thing that we're guaranteed to get a Gear, Force, and a Halo, I want them to invest in the future of the IP, okay? That's what I'm talking about as far as the same way.
But you've been saying that in the games, they have brought more games. And then there's while you're over here still talking the same rhetoric, Z. And look, and I agree with you. But listen, bro, no, it is rhetoric when you say that shit about
when you guys said that this is real shit, right? when you said to me, right, or you guys said that, you know, or 343 or whoever only wants to make Halo, and you don't want them to make anything outside of Halo. That's as a gamer, why the fuck would you only want them?
Because that no. Because again, let me point to this. Let me school you a little bit again. Okay, listen. Listen to what I gotta say first. Listen to what I'm saying. Again, it comes back to Microsoft having an Xbox division. The only games that make money for Microsoft are fucking Halo, Gears, and Forza, right? So you cut those fucking games out, and then you're just taking risks on games where you don't have any kind of idea how they're going to sell, and you stop making your games that sell billions. And what happens when they flop?
Stop making. Okay, listen. Here's the thing, right?
What happens when they stop, Z?
So the same thing.
What happens when they flop?
Okay. Listen,
hold on. Just answer my question.
Answering your question. The same thing can be said about Destiny, right? Listen, the same thing can be said about Destiny. Again, you talking about flopping what's making money. As you as a gamer, you shouldn't care because you are meant to.
What I'm saying is, I personally buy Xbox.
That's you. Okay, but
for those games,
I want more. The same way. I'm gonna give you an example, right? The same way Naughty Dog has a fraction of the resources at 343 Studio.
They don't. Naughty Dog had 2 teams at once.
Okay, listen what I'm saying. Resources. I said resources. I'm not talking about I'm talking about resources. How they took. I give you an example. How they took 10 people away from fucking Uncharted 3 and started making The Last of Us. Whether you like that goddamn game or not,
they did, dude. They had 2 full teams at that time.
Listen to what I
They had 2 full teams.
They took 10 people from Uncharted development team and made this thing that we knew nothing about called The Last of Us. But you would listen, and you listen, what's cookie cutter? Fine. You may not like it. I may not like it.
Dude, it has nothing to do with liking it. I'm just telling you the facts. Look into it. They had 2 full fucking teams.
Okay.
2 full teams, right? And then what you're not understanding is the people that work at 340. You're like, I don't understand why this doesn't compute for people. Look, it makes much more sense to open new studios than to fucking kill off your franchises for any amount of time.
Right. And what Microsoft hold on, let me say this.
You guys can take it, you can slam dunk, okay?
No.
I'll say this again. Okay, you got Uncharted 3. You have Naughty Dog, whether it's 5 teams, whether it's 16. I don't care. We're talking about 343 Studios has more at their fingertips on able to ask for than Naughty Dog. It's a fucking fact. The fact that they only took 10 people.
Dude, the team that made Uncharted 2. Let me just say this real quick. The team that made Uncharted 2. Then after they finished Uncharted 2.
I gotta go to work tomorrow.
Then they went to The Last of Us, right? The split off team made Uncharted 3, and that's why it was a step back.
Okay, fine. Well,
right? Because they watered down their product.
But check this out, even more. Yo, Z.
Listen,
you're thinking about. Hold on.
You can answer my question. Give me a statement. I didn't finish what I'm saying. Just comment. You can have the floor. I'm gonna shut that up. I promise. They took 10 people, right, and made this little known IP that we know anything about. Whether it's The Last of Us. Okay, so now Naughty Dog has 2 huge games up under their belt, right? And again. No, talking about numbers wise, The Last of Us was a bigger hit than fucking Uncharted, right? And now they've been.
No, it wasn't.
Number one, hell yeah.
It was not. Uncharted 4 is at like fucking what? 10 million or whatever it is.
It's like 8
PS3. I'm not talking about Uncharted 4. I'm just talking about. Okay. So again, then they have 2 huge games under their fucking belt, right? So what I'm saying as an Xbox fan, I would love to see fucking 343 whoever. Give us something, another huge game. Because again,
why can't we get a new studio to do that?
Greenlighted to make a 3rd game outside of the Uncharted and The Last of Us.
Hold on, Mega. Hold on, Z. One thing you're not putting into this equation here, right? 343. You keep pulling 343. 343 is built from hardcore Halo fans. All right, ex-Bungie employees. This is a fact, dude. You can say, "Oh God," all you want. This is 110% fact.
We gonna listen.
Pro Halo players, hardcore Halo fans who are in development, and ex-Bungie people who wanted to stay and make it.
All right, let me clear something up in the chat real quick. Let me clear something up in the chat real quick. Hold on.
You know why they stayed at 343 Studio? It wasn't because of the fucking love of fucking Halo. They needed check. Just like I have fucking home.
How do you know, yo?
This is a job.
Dude, listen. Let me say
$100,000 just to make Halo.
Okay.
Okay. We would not have known it would be a problem with fucking Bungie until them wanting to make Destiny, and that's why they left.
Hey, listen, guys. This is the thing. The argument over this is stupid. Listen. Phil Spencer flat out said this. They're investing in new studios and new games, but they're not going to talk about either of those things until they have something to show.
Right.
I think they have Xbox has. I think Xbox, right? And people said, well, why are you giving them to 2017? How come that's not? I said it from the get-go. 2018 is going to be the telltale sign. If they come up with some Xbox on austerity shit and they give us console tags, exclusives, for me personally as a fan, you're getting at the point where you're going to lose me. You have to bring games. You have to bring his game creation, and I do think that's going to happen. But I've always said that.
We've had the same argument. We had the same argument on
conversation.
But hold on, I want to make this. Let me just say this. Damn, goddamn. All right, no, because I'm trying to answer your question right now. Listen,
I got your answer,
bro. Listen, let me make my point. Okay. On the multiplayer, remember we had the same discussion, right? And then me post up.
I might have been high. I don't remember.
Whatever. We had the same discussion. When but me post up and all of us, we stayed talking for about 2-3 hours after the podcast, right? Okay. And so post up came back and he was saying, nigga, I had to read this stuff, and he said I found out that the coalition made the choice, because remember that's what everybody was jumping on me, because I said, look, if 343, this is a Konami, they, if they want to just make primarily Halo, then Halo primarily, that's their decision.
Just another bit of information. They asked the coalition.
Yes, they asked
what they wanted to make, and they picked Gears.
They picked Gears
as a studio.
And Post Up admitted to himself. That's the thing I'm saying. No, but they're still working. But they're still working on Shanghai Nights, though, or whatever they might be.
About what?
Give them fucking time.
Okay, fine. This is not what I'm saying. Time, fine. Time makes no man. I didn't understand the public pushback where you guys were saying that you didn't want 343 or the code to make anything outside of fucking Gears. And
I personally don't, because those are my two favorite franchises.
That is,
it makes much more sense.
I want to get you think about that. I mean, like, what you would want to see 343 make something outside of
not at the expense of Halo.
No. I don't want fucking Burger King to make a McDonald's Big Mac. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't want them to. I don't want Cadillac to make fucking Mercedes Benz.
Basically, next gen, what you're saying, next gen is
to choose.
Basically, yeah. Like, look, exactly. If the coalition and 343 have both chosen as studios to make Halo and Gears respectively, why would they be forced to make something else?
Listen. Okay, what you're saying, and I just want you to think of this. Okay, fine, just to make Halo. I said this before, and again, we all, since you've been doing videos, it is what it is. We've all met people that know some people that know some people. Okay, one of the main issues that Bungie left because of creativity, they wanted to make something outside of the Halo, which was Destiny. Okay, and it can be argued to the fact that had Destiny remained an exclusive on the Xbox,
that would have never been greenlighted on the Xbox, bro.
Okay, and that in itself is a problem.
That would have been a Donnie D problem.
Donnie D is gone.
I know, but I'm saying, do you know that Destiny was thought of like years before it was made?
Okay, cool.
It was never greenlit. You know why it was never greenlit? Okay. Because they already have a Space Marine shooter.
Okay, so again, you enjoy Halo, right?
I do.
Okay, that again.
And I don't enjoy Destiny.
Oh, fine, that's you, but we can't. That's the most successful multiplayer that came out this generation.
Couldn't they have bought? Listen what I'm saying, though. Listen,
I'm saying that's a huge a game, AAA game that can be exclusive. You can't put artists inside a box and say, "Hey, just do Halo." No one wants. When you look at your port, at the end of the day, when they start doing, "Oh, what games have you created?" All I mean was Halo. Halo what? 1, 2, 3. Anything else? Like,
look, this is the thing, right? This is the thing, right? When it comes to these studios, again, it comes down to money. You're gonna risk taking a break from Halo and Gears for how long? 8 years? Because it's going to take you 3 to 4 years to make. Yeah. So what you're saying, next gen, is Xbox fans are going to stick around with the Xbox platform with no Halo or Gears for 6 to 8 years.
What I'm saying is those same games the way those games can be supported with DLC. Same way I'm giving it the same way that they do Destiny. 2.5. We don't need. Listen, we already had. We already
getting a new
had. How
Destiny.
many Halos do you want a generation? We had the
Dude, I think that they should do. I like them. I like them every 3.
How many Halos do you want a generation?
I like the 2 a year, two every gen.
Yeah,
every 3 years.
But
we only had one Halo, really, in Halo.
Yeah, in the spinoffs.
Okay,
I mean, that's,
but all I'm saying is this: that there's no. What I don't understand, and maybe is how could Naughty Dog again make?
Why do you keep look? If Naughty Dog has a studio, Naughty Dog is a goddamn bridge.
Naughty Dog
not everybody's Naughty Dog.
Okay,
Naughty Dog can only make The Last of Us and fucking Uncharted. They're hampered. They're going to go through the same problem. While Santa Monica is making everything. No, Santa Monica is making everything. It's fucking. But Naughty Dog, they're hampered. You know what I'm saying? They're hampered. They're only working on these certain games.
Okay, did you hear what I just said? Okay. All at the end of the day, whether I'm not speaking with just who got what you have this team who made, but you like the games, that's still subjective. We just talk about the fact that it's a AAA game and it's huge for them and their fans. Why wouldn't you want the same thing from 3, 4, or
I buy the Xbox.
Again,
how?
You didn't buy your Xbox because 343 is making goddamn Halo.
No, I bought my Xbox because I knew that I was going to get my Halo, Forzas, and my Gears.
Who said you're not going to get your Gears, Forza, or whatever the case?
Yeah, but you're talking about like it wouldn't even be a generation because it takes time to make a new game. And let's say, okay, let's say that this happens next gen. Let's say that Coalition makes a different game, right? And it's super successful. Then what of Gears?
Okay, fine.
Then what of Gears? Because the Sony fans that don't realize that there are probably a couple idiots that like Killzone. They're never getting a Killzone. Why? Because they fucking switched it up out of necessity because Killzone sucked and made Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay,
I'm all for more games.
Okay.
I'm 100% for more games.
All right, so what you're saying
100%.
And I give it to you again, okay? Did the Uncharted series suffer because of?
But when
they made
The Last
it waters
of Us,
it down.
They were already planning on UC4 being the last one.
Okay, fine.
Like you're comparing. Here's the thing. Let's just get
take it step by step.
The Last of Us, or let's just say this: Naughty Dog are a cream of the crop developer, right?
Okay.
Fucking cream of the crop. There's probably no better developer right now, right? But when they split apart, the Uncharted 3 suffered because you watered it down. We haven't got the perfect Halo or the perfect Gears game yet. We haven't got those, right? So let's water down those and split them off to do something else because that makes way more sense than opening new goddamn studios.
Again, I'll say this again, okay? At the end of the day, what you're saying, opening studios, Microsoft done. They got 3 studios that we know, right? They got Turn 10, the big ones.
No, they have like I think something like 6 or 7.
I'm talking about the big ones. I don't know what those guys are doing.
Mojang, yeah, they have like Mojang.
Mojang does fucking
Turn 10.
Okay, Turn 10. The Coalition.
343 in the
okay. Now you say it was watered down to you, and I'm not the biggest Uncharted fan, okay? But the fact that they have and what you call it, The Last of Us 2, whatever it comes out, I can guarantee you that's gonna be bigger than fucking Uncharted. Guaranteed.
It's not. Look, I'm looking at the sales right now. The Last of Us less than 6 million sold. So I mean, that's
okay. How much did this? And you know when it came out? It came out in 2012 or
2013.
On the heels of the PlayStation 4, and still
and it's also that's counting the sales on the remasters and all that stuff too. So.
It's a huge game. How much did Uncharted 1 sell? How much?
I don't know. It didn't.
It outperformed those games, and it's huge. And I'm not even talking
That's because Uncharted 1 was it wasn't good.
Okay, we got a lot of excuse. I'm just saying. Well, can we at least agree on this that the game is huge for them and their fans, whether we like it or not? Dude,
I'm not debating that those are good games for them, or that some people like those games.
So why wouldn't you want? Listen, why wouldn't you want 343 or somebody to have a 1-2 punch? Why wouldn't you?
I do, because I don't want them to stop coming out with Halo.
The Halo universe can have a 1, 2, 3.56.
And I say this again, just because Uncharted came out, just because The Last of Us came out, just because the Uncharted, The Last of Us came out, that didn't stop production on the Uncharted.
It didn't, but it watered down the Uncharted game.
That's your
Uncharted 3 was incredibly watered down compared to 2. Everybody knew it, and the damage control reason was because that was that wasn't the team that made Uncharted 2.
Whatever. Tim, can we just what do you just listen? AMA. Would you like to see 343 make something huge outside of Halo? Wouldn't that be good for the Xbox? Another big
dude. People that in the chat, like you guys don't understand how this shit works. You can't split up a fucking team and expect to have a quality piece of content out there.
I mean,
okay, it's not going to work. How does like I don't understand the type of retarded person that thinks like this, right? Instead of opening new fucking studios and keeping up with our fucking AAA exclusives that everybody buys Xbox for, right? Because that makes the most goddamn sense in the world. Let's fucking
winky.
Let's split off our team. Let's split off our team and fucking stop doing our top games because that makes sense.
The closest time of the game. What do you think?
Winky.
What do you think?
Oh
What do you
man.
think, Tim?
I think 343 should work on Halo, and I think that they have to hire some talent. If they don't hire any talent, and you don't get any talent, or you don't get any security in them making game producing, then you could pretty much read what's on the wall. They're going to a Steam model with few games.
I shudder to think of a Microsoft Xbox division where they don't have a constant flow of Halo, Gears, and Forza. Because they would fucking close down.
That could be very possible.
They would close down.
I don't want that. That's the thing.
Listen,
So
okay, what I'm saying is this, okay? I didn't say
hire some people. That's what.
Okay. I'm not saying this, okay, I didn't say, and again, because not everybody buys an Xbox and Halo, and or everybody buys an Xbox with Gears. I mean, or Forza. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying,
but those are the only games they're buying. They sure shit we're buying Recore and Lawbreakers and
another AAA title, something else under his jacket other than size Halo.
I think they are. I think Sea of Thieves.
Yes.
I think Sea of Thieves is going to be the next big thing.
I mean, this is
State of Decay, Crackdown. I mean, we're getting more games.
Yeah, I don't know. But Z, the point that I do agree with you on is that but the one thing that I do agree with you on is that yes, Xbox needs to invest more into keeping the IPs that they have, and not just because if the numbers doesn't sell that well. So
let me say something.
Bring back Rise 2. Bring back.
I just want to say this real quick, right? Like somebody just goes hire new people at 343 Studios to work on a new IP. What's the difference between that under a 343 moniker and starting a new goddamn studio? It makes no sense. You people are
343. 343 needs to stick to primarily Halo, in my opinion.
You guys just want that. That's not 343 at that point.
If that's people's choice, that's what they do.
If I hire fucking Billy Bob and Sue Ann, right, and bring them into 343, and I'm like, you guys aren't working on Halo, right? You guys are working on something else. They're not truly 343 then, are they? No, you could have just hired them under any fucking name, you morons. Like, people don't think. They literally don't think.
Halo Wars 2, it wasn't made by 343, it was made by Creative Assembly.
Okay,
but
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah. We seen we don't know what game what's going to be a hit or miss, right? But we can't negate the impact that Destiny has had this generation. And you had
I don't even like Destiny, so you can't tell me that. I don't care.
They left. Supposedly they left Microsoft. It wasn't them. Microsoft.
They chose to leave. Look,
Bomber threw a chair.
In fact, Bomber threw a chair. Yeah, he got pissed off, man. He didn't want that happening.
They want to make other things outside.
It wasn't just that they wanted to make other things. They wanted their freedom. Not every developer wants to be owned.
Okay,
right.
Well, again,
Insomniac Games doesn't want to be owned.
Okay, and I'll say this again. Just think about Destiny was under your roof right now. That was under.
What do you keep bringing up Destiny? I get it, dude.
Because
like
it's huge.
Okay, they were never going to allow that
fucking lunacy. Give them creative control to make other things outside of fucking Halo.
They wanted their freedom.
Again, no one pays $150,000 for school just to make one game.
Somebody's
so you're trying. Hold on. You're trying to say delay Halo for 6 to 8 years to have Destiny come out.
Okay, so was Uncharted delayed 6 to 8 years?
No, it was. They did actually. And they put out a subpar Uncharted 3 while they were working on The Last of Us.
Are you not entertained?
I'm saying, look, it makes much more sense. It makes much more sense to open new studios than to just to do any. Don't fuck with your mainstays. Open new studios. Look, do you even I know Naughty Dog says we're done with Uncharted, but then they flip flop on that and they're like, whoa, maybe we're not done. Do you honestly think they're done with Uncharted?
No.
Hell no.
No.
Hell no. They aren't done with Uncharted.
Hold on. Let me ask you this question. You want 343 to make the next Ninja Gaiden?
Wow.
I don't care.
Come on, Z.
I don't care. It was a good game.
Would you trust 343 to make a
Just
Ninja
think
Gaiden?
about this.
Online slasher.
I got shit I can do. Listen, think about this. I shudder to think what Microsoft, the Xbox division, would do without those few games that they have that make money.
Okay, well, I'm saying again, I wouldn't care who made it, as long as it's a good game. I don't give a fuck if my grandmother made it, Mattel. As long as it's a good game. I told you guys before, I've always been a game, but I never cared about who made a game. As long as the game was good,
you better, because there's some games that's shit.
You like Killer Instinct, right? I'll give you an example. You like Killer Instinct, right? Great game, right? Is it made by Rare? No.
What?
What? Exactly. It means you didn't make it, but you can.
Is it made by Rare?
What you got to do is you got to give him a chance to do what he said, which was they did invest in new studios, but they wouldn't show anything or talk about those until they have something to show. Very intelligent approach, because we can look at the other side too, right? Not every new IP. Look, how did it work out? Like, I'm a big God of War fan, right? And it'll be what, 4+ years into the generation, almost 5 years before we get a God of War on the PS4, right? That's a bummer for me personally, because I'm a big fan of that series. The reason why is because they took a chance on an IP that ended up getting canceled because it was too much like Destiny, right? So and they ended up laying off over half the employees at Sony Santa Monica. This is the stuff that you have to. This is the stuff that you have to realize.
I mean, games get canceled all the time.
They do, and look how bad the first 3 years of PS4 was, right?
Listen, but you don't get it. What I'm saying is, you don't need a God of War. You don't need a God of War every 2 years, because the problem that people have, one of the big, and we can't lie about this. The big backlash that Microsoft or the Xbox has is Gears, Forza, and Halo. You know what I mean? That's the big guarantee to get. You know what I mean?
And those games, all three of those games sell. So
again, you talk about Microsoft money, and I don't care as a game.
But I understand this. But this God of War, it scares the hell out of me. This doesn't look like God of War. It doesn't.
Guys, if you enjoyed the show today, I know these guys are going to
Crap Gamer undefeated. I take on all motherfuckers. Nobody can beat my logic. Nobody. I tell you what, I'll take on anybody. Bring it on. Bring it on. Nobody can beat me. I can fucking debate anybody. I'm the best.
Let's get 300 likes.
Don't fucking Xbox Crap Gamer, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Let's get the 300 likes right now.
Woo! See y'all fools on the GRG podcast on Friday nights at the Crossfire. Let's do it.
Listen, also, let me put the link to my brother's Chris, his show on iTunes. You guys,
Chris where did Chris go, man? He hasn't said a
word. Hey, y'all motherfuckers were going, so I was just like, you know what?
He heard that shit. He's like, yo, I ain't involved right now. Fuck that,
let me get. I was trying to put this show up here to give you guys.
Take that crow, motherfuckers.
Tinky, goodbye. Tinky,
Later, guys.
Peace. BGST is back, baby. Let's go.
We're still in the air, apparently.
I was trying to get the link to Chris show.
Shout out to we can't listen to your ass talking about some damn Donnie D and some damn have three. Yeah, this is due to the chat. He was like, that sounds like that sounds fucking crazy as hell. Talking about Ninja Gaiden being made by 343. Exactly. Let's 343 what they doing.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Okay, sorry. All right, here we go. We good now. We good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we out. I don't know. I can't even fucking. I don't know.
Hey, I'm about to make a 6-hour trip to Z's crib. Let's go.
The button to the right.
I'm gonna drop it Xbox house, Chef Bot.
All right, here we go.
Eat some of his gourmet.
Listen, thanks for rocking out with the show. Shout out to everybody supporting the
DDT is asking going. I'm going to Z's.
Shout out to you guys. Get down with Broadband. Looking for new talent. We going, man.
Halo 6.